Kuhn is the fullback with the first and goal. Kuhn gets the call. Pyle driving his way in for the touchdown. What a great second effort.
Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. I said so. I keep big bills up in my heart on the dirty like blood. So ain't got no twist in my head, but I'm still dreadful.
Wolfpack, what is going on? It's your boy, the Wolf of Verta Street, RoadStreetJournal.com. We breed and feed you fantasy wolves here for your Week 12 sit-start show. 3 more games. The fantasy playoffs will be here, so you know it. Fantasy wins are at a premium. Fortunately, no buys this week, so that might actually make sit-starts a little bit tougher with a more loaded player pool to choose from, and that is why we are here to answer all of your questions. Looks like we already had about 20, 30 before we even got live. You love to see it. We already got our call-in people hanging out down there. Great to see everybody. Hopefully everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Joined, as always, by my man CJ. How was your Thanksgiving? How's everything going over there, brother?
It was good. Nothing really happened in sports yesterday. The United States had a great showing against England. Just need to beat Iran tomorrow and on Tuesday, and everything will be good.
It'll be beautiful. Yeah, nothing happened yesterday. That's true. Go blue, baby. The Michigan Wolverines smashing those Buckeyes. Love to see it. Those frauds from Ohio State. They deserve.
This could be an hour conversation right now.
I know. We won't get into it because otherwise we'll never get to your fantasy football questions. But I was hitting the cowbell like crazy yesterday, celebrating my blue. Love to see it. Well, Wolfpack, I already see them starting to come in. Those thumbs up button. It does help kick us off and get us out to more people. If you're willing to toss that up for us as we get live, as always, Collins and of course Super Chats do get preference too. If you want to cut the line, I just wanted to rip through. As we talked about, we already had Thanksgiving. We already had 3 games. I'm going to go through what I thought were actionable takeaways, important stat lines, really, really fast, rapid fire here. I won't try to take up too much of your time because, again, we've got so many questions to make sure we hit. But just to recap all of the action, and maybe, as always, if you're in a hole now because of Thanksgiving or you have a big lead, let us know those things too. It helps that context because not every single thing just goes straight. He's my 11, he's my 12. We sometimes need to know more about what's going on. So keep us posted on that front, Wolfpack. But let me rip through some Thanksgiving takeaways really quick. In terms of injuries, Damian Harris did leave. He was seen on crutches after the game. Ramondre was already a monster, really got it done despite not scoring nearly 20 PPR fantasy points on the back of 9 catches. He really is like a monster James White, just this huge man running down the field, getting wide open. It's definitely eaten into Jacoby Myers' workload as well, and he is also hurt right now, but it's not his shoulder injury, not supposed to be a long-term issue, they said. But the fact that Ramondre is eating into that workload as much as he is the bigger concern here. So ultimately, that's got to be considered, but top 12-ish running back rest of the season for Ramondre on the year, probably ahead of Dalvin Cook. 42 yards on the ground, 14 yards through the air, just a ho-hum, 7 points. Ugh, disgusting, but Justin Jefferson on the other side as well, 139 touchdown, maybe the best receiver in the league. The other takeaway from that game was the Pats finally got going on offense, 382 yards, 2 touchdowns, 33-26 loss, unfortunately, to the Vikings, but it was good to see they can actually sustain some sort of volume through the air. Aguilar, 65 and a touchdown, maybe a waiver wire guy. I still don't really trust any of these guys. Parker also went for 80 yards, too, in his return to action. But again, it's tough to trust any of these guys. Just nice to see the Patriots do have some sort of passing game ceiling. Just when you benched Adam Thielen, 9 catches, 61 yards and a touchdown, yay. So that sucked. And good to see Hunter Henry, but still probably not a waiver option, 63 yards and a score. Other than that, it really wasn't a ton. Tony Pollard, though, probably a faller. Did see 18 carries, the most of the team, so we're seeing him get the lion's share. But Zeke came on in, got 16 carries, just 2 fewer, and honestly looked better, 92 yards and a touchdown. It's rare that we say that, but Zeke was plowing through that defense. Looks like he's back and fully healthy, and certainly the goal line preferred option. So definitely a stock up for Zeke this week. A little bit down for Pollard, but it was noteworthy, too, that he saw 18 carries to 16 for Zeke. He will remain a weekly play, just probably not a weekly top 10 guy alongside the Kenneth Walkers and those guys. In terms of waivers, Michael Gallup is out there in a lot of leagues. It seemed the most involved he has been all season. 8 targets, 5 catches, 63 yards. Definitely looking better and better. Some really tough contested grabs there. Could be a guy to pick up for your stretch run, Michael Gallup there. So check if he's out there. Dalton Schultz as well, a top 6 tight end each and every week. 31 yards, 2 scores. The only other game, the Lions versus Bills, definitely disappointing for Gabe Davis, our stepdaddy. 4 catches, 38 yards, nothing great there. Ho-hum for Devin Singletary as well, 72 yards, nothing great, despite seeing 14 carries to just 2 for James Cook. Diggs ended up getting there with 77 and a touchdown, but it took him 3 quarters before he actually did anything. McKenzie becomes probably a top waiver wire pickup of the week, though, with 96 yards a score, 10 targets, 6 catches. Still so inconsistent, but something you got to consider nonetheless. And last but not least, Amon-Ra St. Brown, 122 yards and the touchdown there. So just an absolute monster as the Cooper Cup light that he's been all year. Good to see him.
And DeAndre Swift did see 8 targets, so a little bit more involved this week. 8 targets, 5 rushes, 19 yards as well. So getting back in the offense a little bit more, but still tough to trust at this point. Whew. I think that's everything from Thanksgiving, CJ. I know I ripped through a bunch of it, and you're probably looking at your prize picks right now. But is there any other takeaways that you would add to that list?
You got it.
6 minutes, Thanksgiving.
That feels like that was 2 weeks ago.
I know. It really does. Like the bender of the days before and after Thanksgiving is just
the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
It's tough. I know. I got to check with truth. I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle going live tonight. I'm a shell of a human being right now. But hey, we'll do our best to make sure we recap all this action. Let's dive on into the Week 12 news. We got about 30 of you with us. And again, that thumbs up button is so greatly appreciated. Reminder, we will get right to your questions after we rip through this news to make sure you have all the notes you need to ask the best possible questions. But that thumbs up does help us grow, and preference is given to Super Chats, which we have one of them. Want to make sure we do not miss that. I just saw our guy Ryan from across the pond, always supporting the show. Let me dive. Where did that go? There it is, Ryan Hemmings. So what do we got for Ryan?
Yep. So he's asking Jimmy G or Tom Brady.
I would go, that's a pretty good one. I feel like Jimmy G is just like quietly tossing multiple touchdowns every week now with all these weapon upgrades. Feels like he's got a little bit more of a floor too. No real weather concerns, whereas in Cleveland, there's nothing crazy, but a little bit of wind. I mean, they're my 11 and 12, and I guess I have Brady one spot higher, but looking at the question right now, I just kind of feel safer about Jimmy G. Do you have any leaning this way?
I have Brady in a lot of my prize picks this week. I don't know.
Okay.
Although his number's only 265, but I like Tom this week. Especially without Fournette, I feel like Gio's back, and a little more dump offs and whatnot.
Maybe a lot of dump ups to our guy Rachaad White too. I just look at Brady, 14, 12, 17, 15, 17 in his last 5 weeks, like really just no ceiling to speak of. Whereas like you're seeing Garoppolo 19, 17, 18, 16, then 25, like same type of floor, but a little bit more stable of a floor, it feels like, plus a higher ceiling if the weapon score matchups not horrible against New Orleans, even though Lattimore will be sitting, Cam Jordan will be back. I don't know. I just feel like Garoppolo has like a more stable floor and probably even a higher ceiling at this point with all those weapons around him. So I'm going to go Jimmy G. I'm going to make sure to adjust my rankings so they reflect that. And then we go to Palmer or Sanders. Sanders would be Miles Sanders is my guess, right? Must be a flex question. I can't think of Emmanuel's no longer with us. So yeah, it's got to be Miles Sanders, Rick Palmer. I lean in Palmer. No Mike Williams, especially PPR wise. Guy was a target hog. Best game of the year last week. 10 targets, 8 catches, over 100 yards, and 2 scores. Like ride the hot hand. He's got it right now. Whereas Sanders, he's getting the lion's share, but still a 3-headed committee. Still getting Gainwell, getting involved in the red zone. Even Boston Scott starting to mix in now. I lean Palmer there, especially PPR wise. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, always. Whenever one of the Chargers receivers out, I always go Palmer.
So yeah, if one's out, like whoever the top 2 receivers are, always live for the Chargers. And in particular, I do really like Sanders today. So bump in again, Jimmy G above Brady, but it's still my 11-12, still the same tier. So I can see why that's a question there. But I do prefer Jimmy G, even though CJ's going Brady. Loving him on prize picks too. All right, thank you again, Ryan, for the super chat. And again, please do consider supporting the site with a super chat. You can cut the line. We'll drop whatever we're doing and get to that. But moving forward to our quarterback notes for the week. A lot of guys getting benched. We covered a lot of this on Thanksgiving morning. But let's go through all the new nuggets we got too. Kyler Murray going to start. He's going to be fully in their top 10 quarterback each and every week. He's annoying, but still with that rushing upside. You got now Hopkins and Marquise Brown on the field together for the first time, despite the slot injuries there. this could be the most explosive Cardinals attack we've ever seen. So I'm definitely going back to the well with Kyler Murray. I got a couple like Burrow versus Murray's. Okay, I'll go Burrow. But ultimately, I feel good about getting Murray right back into my lineup today. Justin Fields was listed as questionable. He is not going to be playing, unfortunately, for me. So I'm now scrambling for a backup plan. I'm looking at probably Trevor Lawrence. So you and your Jags over there, CJ. But it comes down to, for me, let me know what you think. It's going to be either Trevor Lawrence, Aaron Rodgers against Philly, Taylor Heineke against Atlanta, or Matty Ice against Pittsburgh. Russell Wilson's out there, but I won't even consider that. No way. Who do you think of that? Trevor Lawrence, Aaron Rodgers, Taylor Heineke, or Matty Ice?
What, pick one out of all those?
Yeah, it's my desperation fill-in play for Justin Fields.
I'd go Lawrence there.
Yeah, that's what I got, and I don't love it. The Baltimore defense has been the lowest, only 12 points allowed the last 3 weeks, lowest in the NFL. They've been on fire since they started to get healthy and get back in a groove, but I think after the bye week, maybe those Jags will get going. So let us know if you're in a quarterback health situation. I don't hate Heineke, who's out there in a lot of leagues. Unfortunately, I would love to go Jacoby Brissett, but somebody scooped him. They were watching the higher lower Hail Mary, and they saw that I was looking for Brissett, so they stole him from under me. So no Brissett. I do like Mariota a bit as a stream, but he was also gone as well. It's crazy that I'm not even considering Aaron Rodgers in a game they're probably going to be chasing points.
The first one I was like, no.
No, exactly. Right? Like, I'd rather have Matty Ryan probably, which is just sickening there. So, yeah, let us know if you have a Justin Fields-related issue going on. I mean, there'll be like Mike White will be out there. He's starting. Big to know because he throws 38% of his passes to the running back. So, big bump up for Mike Carter. He's 5,400 on DraftKings. It's definitely a nice price.
2.5 receptions on Underdog.
Oh, baby, that's a great one. I love that. Yeah, so 2.5 catches. I think he's going to smash that. Remember, he saw 10-plus targets in multiple games with Mike White at the QB position. So that's a great one. 2.5 receptions. Love to smash that on Underdog or Prize Picks, whatever you get that for. Matt Stafford is out today, and questions on whether he will return this season. It probably makes sense just to shut him down with no more Cooper Kupp, all these injuries going on. We'll see what happens. Will be interesting to see Bryce Perkins play today. Mobile guy, Konami type upside. You certainly tough to trust or start in fantasy, even in a super flex right now, but worth a stash in a super flex league just because the guy can run and might be taking over the rest of the year. It looked good throughout the preseason, averaged nearly 80 rush yards per game in college. So there is some mobility here. There is some Konami upside, but it's going to be rough when his top weapons, not even Allen Robinson today. So Ben Skoranek and Van Jefferson, the worst line in the league. It's going to be a pretty bad situation. That's why the Chiefs defense are the top rated unit for me this week. Love picking them up. Love playing them this week. Moving on to, Davis Mills also got benched for Kyle Allen. But again, I don't know what the takeaway is there because they sucked before. They're going to probably keep sucking with Kyle Allen. I don't think that's going to be the move that sparks a sudden fire there in Texas. Moving to the running backs, Josh Jacobs was listed as questionable, but is likely to play, barring any setbacks. If you have Jacobs, it might make sense to stash White leading into the game, and then as long as Jacobs is good, you can cut him for whatever next position or whatever tryout you want to do. But it does seem like Jacobs will be in there just to make sure you have your bases covered. It might make sense to pick him up. Leonard Fournette was listed as doubtful and ruled out as of this point. Rachaad White, top 14 running back for me this week. I think he's a monster. We saw 22 carries, over 100 yards. Let us know if you have White questions, but a very, very good chance I will be saying go with him. I prefer him as a streamer compared to Samaje Perine, who, yes, is viable this week with Joe Mixon out. Samaje definitely startable, but I'd caution it. I know his value comes as a pass catcher, and Tennessee, third fewest points allowed to running backs in general. They are a brutal matchup on the ground, but they are allowing the third most receiving points to running backs, the most receptions to running backs, and a little bit of a windy game over there. He does have some real dump off viability here. He caught 3 freaking touchdowns last week. I don't expect that at all, but wouldn't be shocked to see him find the end zone. So Perine is viable, but he's more of a fringe RB2 for me, whereas I think Rachaad White is on the RB1 radar here. What do you expect from Rachaad White, CJ? I know we're a Rachaad White show mostly. You into it?
We are. So I have him or James Conner for my flex, and I keep going back and forth with it.
Man, that's tough. Is it full PPR, half?
Because of course I've been holding White for all this time, and I want to play him no matter what. But then I don't know. Connor's been great lately, and great matchup too.
It is a good matchup, but even better matchup for Rachaad White. Cleveland second most points to back, second most yards per carry. I mean, it's just a great spot for him. I probably do go Rachaad White there because keep in mind, too, Connor, yes, he's been much better these last couple of weeks. Both of those were Colt McCoy starts, and we kind of called that. He was really good with Colt McCoy last year. For whatever reason, scores less touchdowns when Kyler Murray's under center, sees less dump-offs. So I do lean White there, just very slightly. Connor's my 15, and White's my 14.
Favored by about 15. My entire lineup played on Thursday with Dak, Cook, Pollard, Diggs. I'm on Schultz.
Oh, no, you got a shitload go, huh?
I basically only have the flex going to.
Yeah, Rachaad White it is then. I'd fire him up. Get the rookie going. Let's see what happens. It is of note they did bump up Gio Bernard. So, yes, we like Rachaad White for his pass catching, but don't be shocked at all and start tilting if Gio Bernard catches 5 passes. That would suck. That would ruin a lot of the upside to Rachaad White. One of the premier pass catching backs coming out. I hope we just see a true 3-down roll, but definitely there are a few holes you can poke in it. Will be among the most highest owned on DraftKings at 5,100, and deservedly so. He is the second highest projected owned running back behind Jeff Wilson, 5,900. And I absolutely love my man, Jeff Wilson. You guys know, I think he's the best running back in the NFL. I'm not even kidding when I say that, to be honest. This guy is an absolute monster. Since arriving with the Dolphins, even with Mostert there, running back 10 and running back 6 finishes in his first 2 starts. And now he's going to have the backfield entirely to himself. Yes, Myles Gaskin is going to be rotated in. That's how Mike McDaniels does things. But 70-ish% of the work is going to go to Jeff Wilson in the best matchup you can possibly ask for against the Texans. Top 6 running back play for me. I got a bunch of questions on Jeff Wilson on Thursday, and I wish some of them were like Dalvin versus Wilson or Saquon versus Wilson. It's like, fuck, I honestly like Wilson more, but it's so hard to say Jeff Wilson over Saquon Barkley. So hopefully some of you, I think Mike Clay ended up actually benching Saquon for Jeff, and I think it's a good play. Clearly, with those guys getting like 13-ish points, Jeff Wilson has 25+ upside today. So you guys know I'm all in on that. Latavius Murray, another good play, and maybe the pivot off of Rachaad White on DraftKings. I do prefer White, definitely, but with the ownership all going to White, you could consider going to Murray. He's 5K on DraftKings, should be the every down back for the Broncos in a top 5 matchup against the Panthers. Certainly viable in sit starts. A top 25 running back play for me this week. It's ugly. He's averaging under 3 yards a carry. It's gross. He's a corpse, but he's scoring. I mean, he's been okay, even with a backfield share. Now he's got it all to himself. I expect good things. They did say we're going to work in Marlon Mack, but I mean, it's going to be the Murray show, which who knows how good that show is, but he's come through in the past for multiple touchdown days. It could be definitely a 20 carry, 45 yard, 2 touchdown day. And he could come through in a gross, disgusting fashion. Gus Edwards is expected to play in week 12. He practiced in full throughout the week. So he got dropped in a bunch of places. I'd go see if Gus Edwards is out there in your league. Definitely seems like Dobbins is coming along slowly. Drake definitely underwhelmed too his last time out there. Maybe Edwards just steps right back in as a starter. One of the best run schemes worth being rostered in over half of leagues, and he's not quite there yet. And the only other update is Jaylen Warren is out for the Steelers. So just the Najee Harris show on Monday Night Football. 4 wide receivers. It seemed like we were going to get Jamar Chase. He was listed as questionable, but expected it to be out. I think it's official at this point that he's been ruled out. So T. Higgins week, yet again, only 6,900 on DraftKings. Love the spot against a bad Tennessee secondary, giving up a ton of deep yardage. I think him and Burrow cook this week. Keenan Allen also off the injury report, had a solid debut, 9 catches, looking solid. I know it might be a little bit too late. So 5 catches, 94 yards his first game out, but it's a good spot, especially with Mike Williams not in there. Josh Palmer definitely right into my top 25 receivers for the week. Gerald Everett off the injury report at 4,400 on DraftKings. I love him as a contrarian guy. He's right in the middle of the pack. Seems a little too expensive, but facing Arizona, the best matchup for tight ends. So big fan of all those guys with Mike Williams out. Keep your eyes peeled for big days from Keenan Allen. Let us know if you have questions on him. Top 20 receiver for me this week. Deebo Samuel is expected to play despite being listed as questionable. 9 targets last week. That was big because it seemed like he might be a little more boom or bust. But when you see those 9 targets, 3 carries, it looks like that role is definitely getting a little bit more stabilized. And you saw it on Monday night. Needs 1 play to break it open. So it's really hard to ever bench Deebo Samuel there. Dobbs is out for Green Bay. So you can go right back to the Christian Watson. Well, I'm 10 spots above the ECR on him. not putting that sports car back in the garage until he disappoints me, riding that hot hand, even though it's a tough matchup tonight. Hopefully he does not draw Slay. I'm hoping Slay goes to Lazard and we get some secondary feasting for Christian Watson. Cardinals receivers, a bit of a mess right now. Rondale Moore and Greg Dortch are both expected to be out. Marquise Brown is expected to be activated. I wonder if that's going to be a limited role, though. I still like going to Marquise with all these other injuries around him. It's going to be tough to sit him, depending on what your options are. Obviously, if you get the chance to rest somebody, see him come back first, I'd love to do that. But you might have to just toss him out there. And he's got such great deep speed. He was a top 8 wide receiver for those first 5 weeks before Hopkins came back. I'm excited to see these guys coexist, see what happens here. I love Hopkins today, 7,700 on DraftKings. I think he's going to kick into the slot with those 2 guys out and no real obvious value, or rather no other obvious replacement for the slot. This role's been great. Greg Dortch has been getting peppered from there. When he's in, Rondale Moore was seeing 13-plus targets in multiple weeks. Good spot for Hopkins. That's when he first came back. He went right into the slot, and we saw, I think it was 18 targets or something crazy. Could see a monster game like that from him, and he's cheaper than, guys like Parker and whatnot on DraftKings. And last 2 receiver notes, Juju Smith-Schuster practicing in full. He's only 5,700 on DraftKings. I think that's a great spot. He had 25-plus points in 2 of his last 3 full games, 18 in the other one. He really seemed to be cooking, and now there's no Mecole Hardman, no Kadarius Toney. I really like Juju today. I think he's in a great spot with the Chiefs just slaughtering the other side there. And then the Ravens receivers, Duvernay is questionable for week 12 against the Jags, but he's expected to play, as is Demarcus Robinson. I wanted to bring that one up in particular because I like Robinson a lot. 9 targets, 128 yards last week. Seems to be emerging, 23, 19, and then 28% target share the last 3 weeks. Seems like he's coming forward as the true number 1 for Lamar Jackson. Obviously, we know Mark Andrews is the number 1 weapon there, but number 1 receiver, Demarcus Robinson, looking at his schedule down the stretch too, all green, pure greenery, including a matchup against the 2 most generous defenses back-to-back weeks in week 16 and 17. Happens every year. Crazy playoff stretch. It's typically a more talented rookie, something of that nature, but Lamar loves this guy. He keeps raving about Demarcus Robinson, 17% rostered. Definitely my guy I'm trying to get ahead of, not have to play that waiver wire bid. If he goes off yet again, this is a guy that a lot of people are going to be going after. Getting such a soft schedule. Tony is out. Ugh, hate him. Allen Robinson not expected to play. Hate him too. Corey Davis is playing today with Mike White, maybe actually viable. We will see how everything shakes out there. And last receiver note, Odell Beckham. Unlikely to play before late December now. So there's a mid-November earlier that he was going to be ready. Then it was early December. Now it's late December. I don't know. And honestly, if you're stashing him, I don't care because it's like that. The whole point is you want him for your fantasy playoffs. It might be tough to trust him, though, if his first action's like week 16. That's maybe it is a better spot for your bench at this point because who knows? I'm still going to hold on hope the next week or 2. And then if I still haven't heard anything on him, it's time to cut. But we will find out. I'm definitely staying with it for now. And then moving on to tight end, as talked about, Gerald Everett was removed from the injury report, the top 6 tight end for me this week. In love with Gerald Everett in a smash spot against the Cardinals. Tyler Higbee, questionable. Who knows? Maybe he just gets the victim of we're tanking, we're done. And Tyler Higbee ends up getting sat as well. You should have a backup plan ready, but they do play later today. So keep that in mind. Njoku will play. He was on a snap count last week. Still tough to trust because he says that the pain is still there, so he might still be on a snap count. Isaiah Likely did not travel the team. He is out, so Mark Andrews even more stable volume already. It's not like that's going to impact it that much, but that much more stability there. Wrapping it up with some D injuries. Chase Young is not going to make his season debut as expected. Newsom is out for the Browns. Lattimore not expected to play, but Cam Jordan is expected to play for the Saints. A couple big defensive players that can impact your offensive performances. Whew. All righty. That is all the news. It does look like we got a couple super chats while I was ripping through that. So let me go down to Ozzy Medina. Do you have it right there, CJ?
Yeah, it's already on the screen.
Perfect.
So Ozzy's asking, fighting for a playoff spot, should I drop Nico Collins, who is his weakest player on the bench for Seattle's defense as a stash? They play the Rams and the Panthers weeks 13 and 14.
I mean, yeah, honestly, this is the time of the year. If you're through your bye weeks and you're not going to need to use, hopefully you never have to use a guy like Nico Collins. So as long as you have the depth and you don't think you're going to be using Nico Collins, Ozzy, it does make sense to start getting those defenses and starting to see where do the top matchups fall? Now, I know Baltimore probably not out there in a lot of leagues. Their playoff schedule is a joke, as are the Chiefs. I was recommending last week, get the Chiefs ahead of Sunday Night Football. They got this good spot today. And then in the playoffs, they get Denver twice. They get Houston once. It's a gorgeous schedule for a surging Chiefs team. So that's definitely the top one. They're probably gone at this point, though. So Seattle, that's a solid back-to-back there with the Rams and Panthers coming up. Could definitely help push you to the playoffs. So, yeah, I think that's an absolutely smart move there, Ozzy. If you don't need Nico at all, and hopefully you don't, you won't be pushing for a playoff spot probably if you do. Yeah, I'd make this move. Do you see any reason that you should hold on to Nico instead of getting ahead of the waiver wire?
No, I'm not a Nico Collins guy myself. I know he's been decent lately, but no, especially with Stafford's about to probably be done for the season. Panthers are just horrific. Who knows who they'll be starting at that point. So, yeah,
Seattle's a pretty good defense. Like, fantasy-wise, I'm not sure how their numbers have been, but, like, real-life-wise, they got some talent. They're not a bad defense at all. So it's not like you're just picking up a nobody defense just because of the matchups. Solid stuff. Yeah, I definitely like Seattle and stashing them there. And then Austin supporting the show with $2. So I'm trying to see. Do you see any?
There's one right up here.
Okay, cool.
So Austin first, their PPR start 3 of these. Jeff Wilson locked in, of course. Kamara, Najee, White, Olave, Boyd, Gibson.
Wow. I mean, a lot of good options here. I'm definitely locking in Wilson. I feel like I got to go with Rachaad White today, too. But Kamara in a full PPR is also tough to bench. It is a tricky matchup, but I'd have Kamara ahead of Olave, Boyd, and Gibson and Harris, too.
So what, Wilson, Kamara, White?
That's where I lean. Yeah. Olave versus Kamara is tight. That's tricky. Boyd and Gibson are still great spots today, but compared to the rest of them and Najee as well, like I have the other guys definitely ahead of.
Yeah.
But what about you, CJ?
Yeah,
what's your favorite?
Those are the first 3 that kind of jumped out to me.
Najee, Kamara,
as you said, even the Kamara Olave thing is kind of a coin flip, but I usually go with the running back there. So I'll go Wilson, Kamara, White myself.
All right, so we're in the same boat there. Nice. Thank you for the support, Austin. Really, really appreciate it there as well. Looks like there was another super chat from Austin at 1046 is what our guy David is pointing out. 1046. Let me try to find that. Oh, yeah. No, that was Hemming. Sorry. Did we miss one? Oh, maybe Austin had another question. I don't know. We're going to get the mailbag. I don't see any other super chats, so we'll get to you soon, Austin, if there is another one in there. But Wolfpack, before we dive into the mailbag, wanted to let you guys know about 2 of our favorite apps out there that are giving you a $100 match if you use code RSJ. I did not put the link in the description. I probably should have. I will do that after the show. Or CJ, do you want to comment the link maybe, if possible? Yeah, see if you can do the comments there. So the link will be in the comments shortly. It is a great deal, though, $100 match, or just download the apps, use code RSJ. Definitely some fun things to gameplays, different draft styles on Underdog, player props on Prize Picks. I have a few that I'll share towards the end of the show because I do want to get to the mailbag. We got over 50 of you here, but just wanted to hype up those 2 apps, Underdog and Prize Picks, the sponsors for today. Code RSJ, $100 match. We'll go more into that a little bit later. All righty. Let me dive down into the questions. You'll comment those guys in the those links in the description. Do you want me to do the questions for a little bit while you're getting those in there, CJ?
Yeah, I'm trying to find those links right now.
All right, sweet. Let me know when you're ready. And I have a Google Doc with those links somewhere.
No, so I got them.
You got them? Okay, cool. What's going on, Kevin Rice? Happy post-Thanksgiving indeed. As well, 52 of you out here. Please do, as we dive into these questions, consider that thumbs up button. Help us grow. Help us get out to more people. As I was scanning the mailbag, a lot of new names. You like what you're hearing would be so awesome. We're pushing about 70 more until we get to 3K. We are so close, Wolfpack, to getting there. So, again, jump that line with a super chat. We'll hit the call-ins in a second. Just wanted to pull up Kevin's, and then we will get to, as always, our favorite call-ins. Happy post-Thanksgiving. Went up against St. Brown. You need some points. Pick 2. Palmer, White, Pierce, Pittman, Patterson. 2 bench spots due to IR. Any good stashes? So if you need some points, I got to go Rachaad White and just hope for a 3-down workload there. I feel like Pierce has a pretty cap ceiling in this offense, so I actually might go to Palmer in that next spot if you truly need points. If it was one versus the other and like in a vacuum, I'd probably prefer Dameon Pierce. Just a nice steady 12-plus points almost every single week besides last week. but the ceiling has been capped. He hasn't had any 20-point days, whereas Palmer coming off 108 catch, 2 touchdown day. That seems to me to be the ceiling play, not into Pittman in this higher rush attack, not into Patterson right now in a 4-headed nightmare. So to me, it's 2 of the first 3. I'm going to go White and Palmer myself. How's everything coming over there, CJ? Did you find everything?
Yeah, I'm just closing the prize picks one now. I just did the underdog.
All right, perfect. I'll pull in our first call-in of the day. As always, kicking off the show, Mr. Campanelli, how are we? Happy Sunday.
All right, how you guys doing? She
Hey,
wanted
not
to see
bad.
CJ again. She's in love.
Look at those starstruck eyes. You can tell.
So, have just a quick question. Have we heard anything on Demarcus Robinson starting today? Because he is questionable with the hip.
He practiced in full on Friday. I think it was kind of a formality. He was expected to play as of this morning, according to Rappaport. I don't know if we've gotten the official actives, inactives. It might be out as of now. I'd expect him in unless we see something shocking otherwise. So, yeah, he should be in today.
Okay, because in my full PPR league, I'm kind of forced to start him at this point.
Nice.
So, just a couple quick questions. Do you go Connor or Pierce today at flex?
I go Connor there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then this is kind of because I had Chase going and now I'm kind of – so I need to sit one of these guys. Pickens, Curtis Samuel, or Paris Campbell.
You got to sit one. Campbell's been rolling with Matty Ice these last few weeks.
Curtis
I have a
Samuel
tough
is
time
the
saying.
first thought of.
Yeah, Curtis was the first one for me too. Like he got there last week kind of with 9 points, but it was a fluky looking touchdown. Seems like he's getting less and less involved as the season's going. He feels like the riskiest to me. So yeah, he's the first one I benched too. CJ, yeah, we're on the same page.
Okay, and then my last question is Pittsburgh D or Denver D?
I like Denver against Carolina. I mean, Sam Darnold, like making his season debut. Maybe he sparks the troops, but I think that's a very minimal chance. It's been a great Denver D all year. There's like 2 touchdown upside with Denver D today. So I like them. Pittsburgh's in a decent spot against Indy too, but it seems like they're more so pound the ball, bleed the clock, and like won't be quite as good for fantasy matchups anymore without Matt Ryan backing up, 40 times, getting sacked in the pocket. It seems like that they've kind of transitioned the offense. So I lean the first one there. Who is it?
Denver or Pittsburgh?
Denver, yeah. I go Denver. What about you, CJ?
Denver's defense is really good. I mean, they keep opponents under 20 points every week, it seems. So.
Yeah, what was the stat? It's like if the offense could average 18 points a game, they would be like 9.
If they scored 18 points in every game this year, they'd be 9.
That's insane.
So, whatever, 10-1.
Very, very good defense there for sure.
And we know you're high on the kickers. So has RSJ now swung from being the coup supporters to the Dicker supporters?
Oh yeah, I'm still a diehard coup supporter. But I like him this week too. Atlanta versus Washington. That's going to be a lot of field goals. But I'm always a big kicker guy. We're definitely pro kicker here at RSJ. 110%.
Awesome. Have a great one, guys.
You as well, David.
Remember, like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, there's our guy. He knows he does our job better than us there, Mr. Campanelli. Those likes, subs, all that good stuff is so greatly appreciated. It did look like a super chat came in, and then we'll hit our guy Giuseppe on the call line twice, it looks like, down there. So we'll pull the one up where we see his face at least. But you found the super chat. What do we got here?
Yep, it's Chris 33. Pick 2 running backs, Chubb, Connor, and Perine. Also, best option at receiver 3, D. Johnson or Zay Jones.
Oh man, so I go the first 2 here, Chubb and Connor over Perine. The matchup's really tough against Tennessee. Again, as we emphasize, they do give up the Titans the 3rd most receiving points to running backs, and that's where Perine was going to make his money anyway. So it's not like a daunting, you can't play Perine type of matchup. But I just feel much better about the other 2 guys. If you got from Perine what those 2 are already doing every week, you'd feel really good. So I bench Perine here. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, I'm with you. Chubb is just always a lock, and I don't know. I like Connor a lot this week. I'm still going back and forth myself, but I do like him definitely over Perine.
Yeah, he's been on fire lately, too. I know Colt McCoy was the QB, but it just seems like he's kind of just catching that flame that made him so good last year with the scoring. So, yeah, we're going to bench Perine there. In terms of the 3, I mean, if it's this gross, like Deontay is so talented, and it's just every model calling for the fact that like nobody's had this many targets and not scored and all that. Like it's bound to eventually change. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe it's just Pickett and him will never get on the same page. But like, I'm never going to bench a talent like Deontay for Zay Jones and not even a great spot for Zay Jones against Baltimore. So I'm going to go Deontay. I don't love it. I definitely lower on Deontay. Yeah. I'm about like -8 on him than the ECR this week. But all that to say, like Zay Jones is the other option. I'm just going to bank on the talent and hope Deontay gets it together. What about you?
Yeah, I'd feel like an asshole if I bench Deontay for Zay Jones and
Zay Jones.
Deontay find the lead score. I mean,
you got to trust your gut. I mean, if Os Chris is like, I have a gut feeling with Zay Jones, he does have some boomer bust weeks in here. It's not like he's like completely and utterly useless, but I don't know. I got to go Deontay myself. Yeah.
Sometimes
just
you just blindly put the more talented player in if it's up to you guys.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you so much, Os Chris, for your support of the show. Greatly appreciate it. Let's pull in our next call-in. Mr. Russo, what's going on, brother? Hey.
How we doing, gents?
Very good, very good. Looking cozy in the that robo. Looking great.
Ready for the holiday season, buddy.
Hell yeah, looking great, my man. Look, how can we help you? Happy Sunday.
So, a couple quick ones. I got Fields, the same situation as you, and hoping to slot him in my IR at 11:30. And who should I pick up? Should I get Heineke, Mariota, Matty Ice, or Brissett?
Kind of like Brissett. I mean, he's been rolling well lately, and it seems like he'll turn into a pumpkin at any given moment. But it's also that, like, last start for him. You know, Deshaun's coming back next week, and maybe he just goes out there and leaves it all out and balls out, you know. He's got two good weapons in DPJ and Cooper. He's got 20-plus points in 2 of his last 3, and the other one was 16. I feel like a decent floor, nice ceiling. When you're looking at those other guys, it's like, like Heineke feels like it should be him when he's facing Atlanta.
I love
you like Heineke, CJ?
No, well, I'm just saying in general, I love Heineke, but kind of with you, it's actually, do I want to be the different guy and go Heineke? I don't know. It's Brissett's last week though. Let him enjoy his old time together.
I mean, Heineke, he's 6 and 8 points his last 2 games, 15 the week before that. He had 1 23-point day. Like he has been nothing above the QB 15 and except once. Like I don't know. I like the Atlanta matchup. It screams green and it looks good, but they might just both teams bleed the clock as fast as they can, limiting the amount. Like both teams might run like 20 plays and it just like gets gross. So I'm gonna go for Brissett and just hope for more of a shootout there back at home. Last start of the year for him. I think he balls out.
Perfect. And then another one. I'm 8-3 in this league, and I have Henderson on my bench. Should I keep him or just drop him for like Seattle D and stash him for the playoffs?
It's always interesting to see like what someone in a new home does. But you're not gonna learn anything new about him. So it's a matter of like, could you drop him and get him back next week if you really wanted to? I don't think he turns into anything, to be honest. Like I think he's just a depth piece behind Etienne. If Etienne got hurt, then he would be actually something. But yeah, I have no qualms with dropping.
What do you know? He's such a plotter. I know he'll get the touches, but like he sucks.
Yeah, I have no issue dropping him at all. So I think starting to stash those defenses and get ready for the playoff push makes sense at this point.
Perfect. Thank you so much, fellas. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday to you. Best of luck, Giuseppe. Thanks for the call. All righty. And we will continue on forward with our mailbag. I'm going to go fill up a water real quick, CJ. Dying. Oh, you got me.
I don't remember which guy we're on.
Right over there. Awesome. What'd you say?
Which question are we on?
We're on Sebastian right here.
Oh, I can't see it on mine.
All right, I got it.
Yep, I got it. Good morning, boys. I have Devo, Palmer, and starting. Kamara at the flex. Have Olave, Murray, and Monty on the bench. Making changes.
It's tough. I mean, a lot of good options there. I'm thinking I'd rather have Olave than Palmer, but I don't know. It's close. I like Olave though. First 100-yard and touchdown day. Like been cooking all year. I'd go Olave over Palmer. It is close. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, if you kind of one of those, if like you need the big play, I'd probably go Olave. But if you just need to be comfortable, I'd stick with Palmer, I think. Yeah,
and I get like 2 Saints in a bad matchup is could cap your ceiling if they just get swallowed by the Niners. I get that too. I mean, Murray has this Monty have such stable volume too. But I'm worried about the Bears just getting completely demolished. So I'm not going to go to Montgomery in that case. Yeah, I'm leaning Olave here, but it's close. It is close.
For some reason, I don't have these these questions on mine.
Oh, okay.
What time is it at?
That's 7:45 a.m.
Oh shit. Yeah, I only have 8:48 is my first one.
with David. Okay, cool.
Sarno, what's up, boys? I need 2 receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex. Half PPR, Debo, Pickens, DPJ, Pierce, Kamara, Wilson.
So I'm going to go. Yeah, we need 5 here. So Wilson Jr., lock him in. Kamara, lock him in. Flex between Gibson versus Pierce is actually pretty tricky. I really like Gibson, though. He started to take this backfield back over. I wonder if they're just like done with the Brian Robinson experiment. He just hasn't looked good. And again, understandable reasons why he got shot. Like, we shouldn't expect him to look great. It's a miracle that he's even out there. But ultimately, it did seem like this coaching staff has just like decided, let's turn this thing over to Gibson. Let it be the Gibson show. So I have Gibson just a bit higher. So I'm going to go those 3 guys. And then we need 2 receivers. You got to go Debo. And Pickens versus DPJ. That's tricky, but I'm riding the Pickens train right now. Yeah, he's good. He hasn't really – there's 1 week he got like 0, but other than that, every time we've recommended him, he's been pretty solid. So yeah, we'll lean there. It seems like we're in the same spot. What about you for Gibson versus Dameon Pierce? Do you go Gibson or? Yeah,
Gibson's just the better back in Washington. I know we kind of shut on him earlier this year, but he's more talented than Robinson. He's more explosive. He's a better pass catcher, just everything. I would go Gibson over Pierce.
All righty, so we are in agreement there. Again, he saw 18 carries to 15 for Robinson, even in a positive script last week. All the catches, 3 of 3, was about a 70% snap player. I mean, this is the Gibson that was a second-round pick in every league for the last couple of years. Couple touchdowns against Atlanta, very, very possible. So I think there's a really big ceiling there. All righty, Doug Jones coming in with a fresh super chat. Thanks so much for your support, Doug. Greatly appreciated. Let's see if we can get this one right for you.
All right, standard scoring needs 2 receivers and a flex. He needs some upside. So Olave, Palmer, Boyd, Garrett Wilson, Kamara, DJ Moore.
Looking for upside, I feel like it's got to be the first 2. We need one more after that as well. But I go the first 2, then Kamara myself, especially in standard. You want like the boom touchdowns. I think that's what Palmer and Olave bring. I don't trust DJ Moore at all. I do really like seeing what Garrett Wilson does with Mike White today. But to me, the other 2 are definitely above him right now, and I'm not going to play Wilson over Kamara. So I go Kamara, Palmer, Olave. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, that was the first thing I thought of once again. We're on the same page today.
We're locked up today. And I do like Boyd, but definitely more so in a PPR league. With no Jamar Chase, he does have a big ceiling. But, man, I just feel like the other ones just feel better to me. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Alrighty, Doug. Thank you so much again for the support there. Hopefully we get that one right for you. Best of luck with that upside that you need. Hopefully those guys hit their ceilings.
And I do have some actives and actives if you want those.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm just bumping Palmer up to right below Ayuk, ahead of Garrett Wilson, and making sure he's in the rankings appropriately there.
Officially active, Gus Edwards, DeMarcus Robinson, Duvernay, and Logan Thomas. Officially inactive, Fields, Jamar Chase, Raheem Mostert, and James Robinson.
Who was the last one?
James Robinson.
Oh, really? That's interesting. Huh. Mike White.
Actually, he was healthy and active.
I was going to say, he's a healthy scratch. So, Mike White show, baby. And Ty Johnson. I mean, if you're desperate. I know Thomas Medina asked some of those questions where you're like, you have to look at like Raheem Blackshear today. Come on. So, if you're in that territory, maybe Ty Johnson gets a little bit of a bump up. Let me just X out of Robinson in my rankings. James getting the axe down. And then Michael Carter. What do you think about Carter versus like Murray and Perine today?
Yeah, I think I just can't do the Murray thing. I know he's like their only running back. I know he's gonna have goal line touches. He just sucks. But I would probably go Carter, Perine, Murray.
I do too. I think. Oh, that's tough. That's a really tough one. But I think I prefer Mike Carter to Perine at this point, given no James Robinson. So you got the full goal line lockdown. I mean, what if they just make him a 3-down back? Like he sure could. He was last year. He had monster days with Mike White last year. Yeah, I'm bumping ahead of Murray and Perine. I think Mike Carter definitely deserves that bump at this point. So let us know if you have Mike Carter questions. That's big stuff. Again, James Robinson inactive for the Jets. So we left off on Sarno And then we have, this is probably the one you can see, right? David Campanelli, good morning. Wolfpack. Remember, comment, like, subscribe, and share. Let's launch RSJ to new heights never before seen. I love it. Thank you, David, so much for always being here, always hyping up the boys. But those likes, thumbs up button over 45 of you here with us does really, really help us grow. And of course, any new people here, if you want to sub, let us know. Please do join as we climb to 3K. It's the best. Juan Pena, what do we got for you?
Top of the morning to you fellas. Cheers. Who's for my receiver 1 and 2? I got Boyd, Samuel, Paris Campbell, Mooney, Carter.
I gotta go Boyd and Campbell myself is what I'm leaning there. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, we have to be consistent after saying Campbell over Samuel earlier. So
yeah, I'm checking that in my rankings right now just to make sure what I say is consistent. But I feel good about Campbell. I mean, he's been really good with Matty Ice, and the Steelers are one of the bottom 5 teams, 2 slot receivers. So I do not. I'm going to bump Curtis Samuel down here, just to make sure that's reflected accurately. All righty. Thank you, Juan. Good question. Making me double check my rankings here.
Jeff Lee, our number 1 hype man. Well, actually, smash the thumbs up, half PPR. Pick 2 of these: Rachaad White, Perine, Jeff Wilson. I think we could probably stop right there. But then Pierce, Kyron Williams. Thank you.
I mean, yeah, Wilson definitely, and then Rachaad White. Yeah, Jeff Wilson, Rachaad White. Those are the plays of the day, baby. I go, as much as I like Pierce, I go those other 2 running backs, and Perine, I think of all the potential streamers today, in a good spot, definitely playable, but compared to White, compared to Wilson, like definitely much higher on the other 2 than I am on Samaje Perine against a tough Tennessee defense. If any of them fail, I could see him failing the most. Alrighty, another super chat, $5. You guys are very generous today. So greatly appreciated, Wolfpack. What do we got from Mike Duty?
He's so pissed at you, Davis. I need the win.
Know.
I need the win. PPR, sit one of these. Debo, Juju, Olave.
Whew, that's pretty good. I think I do lean sitting Olave here. I just feel great about Juju. Like I'm bumping. I'm fixing my rankings up. I know Olave did have that big week, but this does feel like the spot where Dalton goes for like 110 yards, 3 interceptions, just sucks, and like Olave does nothing. Yeah, I'd rather have the number 1 for Mahomes. And plus, you play that game. Kelsey's gonna smash you. Like there's no escaping that. But maybe it softens the blow. Like
you're not like negating Kelsey by putting him.
No, that's never gonna happen. But I do see the point in terms of like maybe Juju outscores him, even if Kelsey has 20. What if Juju gets like 25, and now you've kind of softened the blow at least. So yeah, I like going Juju and Debo. Honestly, what about you, CJ?
Yeah, I'm going
Juju Olave is tough.
I think I'm going Olave here. I know it is a tough matchup. Maybe they get down and have to chuck it up. Maybe Dalton gets benched. But I think I'm going Debo Olave here, especially with him getting really nothing from Gabe too.
I'm just kind of all in on like Juju today. I'm feeling a big Juju day today. Nobody else around him other than Kelsey, of course, but that's always going to be there. No Hardman. No Kadarius Toney, and he already was cooking. I feel really good about Juju. So I'm updating the rankings to reflect it. I'm a little bit lower on Olave the more I do these questions than I realize I'd be. So you said Olave over Juju though for you?
Yeah.
Oof. I'm going the first 2. I'm going Debo and Juju. PPR as well, just more catch upside to Juju, in my opinion. So thank you again, Mike Duty, for your generous support, and everybody generously supporting the site today with your super chats. It truly does go such a long way. All righty, we left off on Jeff Lee, Seahawks versus Pittsburgh. I think in a vacuum like this week, I go Pittsburgh. Seahawks, as mentioned, though, have a nice schedule as we go down the stretch, and the Raiders aren't like a horrible matchup today. So it depends on what you're playing, the long game or just a 1-week thing here. But I don't hate Pittsburgh against Matty Ice, giving up the second most points to defenses right now. Where do you lean on that one, CJ?
Yeah, kind of what you said, though. I think I would just play Seattle today and feel okay about it, and then you have a really good matchup the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, that is true. If you don't have the bench space for them both, Seahawks do have that nice schedule.
Tien Win. Am I benching Debo over Godwin and Olave because of the hamstring?
I'd rather have Debo over both those guys, and I'd rather have Godwin over Olave. That's how I'd rank them, Debo, then Godwin, then Olave. What about you?
Yeah, I'm still rolling Debo myself.
I'm not worried about the
I wish you could get Godwin in there, but I guess you can't. So.
Yeah, I go Godwin over Olave myself. We'll see.
Frazier, McDonald, tough situation, needing a win to keep playoff hopes alive. Who do I stick in the flex this week? Monty, White, Perine, Keenan Allen, or DPJ?
I'm going Rachaad White. I love Keenan Allen. It comes down to White versus Allen for me. But I'm going White. What about you?
Yeah, I think with Mike Williams out, I do love Rachaad White. That's a tough one. I think I'm going to go Keenan here. He does need the win in the playoffs. I think I'm going Keenan here. I just hope if he stays healthy throughout the entire game, I feel really good about him.
Yeah, if he makes it through the whole game, that's a great spot with no Mike. But I don't know. I love White today. I really, really do. So I'm going White, but it is real close, Frazier. Best of luck. I don't think you can go wrong. I think both White and Allen will have good days. I just feel like White has that 2-touchdown, blow up upside today.
Rushing yard. Chris Olave or Marquise Brown for this week. I need all the help I can get and maybe an opinion on why you would start one over the other. Well, you came to the right place.
Well, that's why we're here, Rushing Yard. Welcome. I know you're a regular to the show, so good to see you again. Rushing Yard. I'm going to Olave just mostly because similar style players here, but Marquise Brown could be on a snap count. So give me the one that's a full-time player. Sure, Marquise Brown does have the better quarterback play. Shootout style feel, Arizona versus the Charger. Like if we got a report between now and kickoff that Marquise Brown will play all the snaps and not be limited, honestly, I might put him ahead of Olave. But without knowing that and with the risk that he only plays 25%, 30%, gets his feet wet, I'm going to go Olave here. It just feels safer to me. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, kind of. I don't know. Do you think they'd risk a foot is so much different than a hamstring or something like that? It's kind of it's tough to re-injure it, I think, on a snap count. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you think they would roll him out less than 100%?
Well, it could be less about re-injury. A lot of times it's conditioning too. First getting their legs back under them. They don't overwork them, and have them crumble. So I don't know. It's a good point. It's different.
Olave probably is the safer of the two. When Hollywood's 100% healthy, him and Hopkins are going to have 40 targets a week. I
know. It's going to be that's going to be great. Him and Hopkins together. Whew. I'm looking forward to that offense. But yeah, for now, and I am higher than the ECR by 15 spots on Marquise. I'm not afraid to put him back in my lineup, but Olave just been such a steady option all year. Feels safer to me. Good morning, Bulldog. Always at the show. I love to see you. And we got rushing. We do have a super chat too, but yeah. Rushing Yard, paying attention to Keenan rings the bell. So he likes Keenan. He's with CJ on that one, Frazier. Again, I like Rachaad White myself, but there. A very generous super chat. $10 coming on in. Thank you so much. Let's go pull that one up.
I got it.
Well, yeah.
So Tim Gray have to sit one of these full PPR super flex. Dalton, ETN, Aaron Jones, Rachaad White, and then I should do that one first.
And Tim, thank you so much for the support here.
I'm sitting Dalton out of this.
I was going to say, Superflex, I almost always go quarterback, but in a full PPR league, all of these running backs have upside. So I go Etienne and White for sure. Aaron Jones versus Dalton, it's tricky. And Dalton is coming off a great game in a tough matchup, so it is tough to sit him. But I am really worried the 49ers just blow the doors off the Saints and Dalton gets benched and could totally see a 4-point Dalton day. And he's throwing a bunch of picks and he's on the bench pouting while Jameis kind of gets the call for the second half. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning Dalton just because of how good all these other options are. So yeah, Dalton's last games, 29, 17, 11.9, 9.1, and 22. I mean, that 9.1 is the floor. Actually isn't horrible. I mean, Aaron Jones gets the Eagles. That's a tough run D, a good defense in general. I think I bench Aaron Jones. Oh, man, that's tough, though.
I'm sitting the Red Rifles.
You're worried about the Dalton benching?
Not even that. I just think that, kind of what we said, they're going to get their ass kicked, and I don't really even love him going from behind either. He's going to throw picks. He's going to –
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's tricky. But in Superflex, I typically go the quarterback, so I'm going to bench Aaron Jones there. Pierce versus Kamara. I'm leaning Kamara. I mean, who knows if Kyle Allen will make this offense. It really can't get worse. So as good as the floor has been for Pierce, last week was pretty scary. And And Kamara, is always involved, whether it's as a receiver at the goal line. Like, he's always going to have a role. So I'm a little lower on Kamara in general this week, but I still have him above Pierce by 6 spots. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, I think that's kind of easy. I don't love Pierce this week. I don't really love anything with that team anymore.
Yeah, gotcha. All righty. Well, Tim, thank you so much for the generous super chat. Let us know what you end up deciding. Again, I'm going to go Dalton, Etienne, and White, and bench Jones. CJ is benching Dalton, though, and it makes sense. I get it. And then I'm going to go Kamara over Pierce. All righty. We left off. You found where we were at the top?
Yep. We're at Nicola.
All right.
So
Perfect.
Rachaad White or Nick Chubb. I think White has a better matchup against Cleveland, but it's hard for me to sit Chubb. I agree with you there.
Yeah, Chubb, it is a tougher matchup against Tampa Bay. That is a pretty good run D, but it's not like Tampa Bay when they had Sue and it was just like, right. You just don't bench Chubb. You don't. Your locker room will revolt against you. And I love White. But that to me is getting a little cute. Like Chubb has been.
You can't jam White into the flex.
Like, yeah, exactly. I hope you can get White somehow in there, but not at the expense of Chubb. How can you not get him in there? So she started, Nicola started Zeke already, and that's good. I mean, that's solid. And you have Taylor. You're not going to bench him. But I'm not benching Chubb. I can't bench Chubb. So sadly, White has to find the bench, but stacked running backs. Maybe you can pull off a trade. But really solid stuff, Nicola. Sunday to answer our degenerate question. Thank you so much, David, as the hype man ourselves. Likes, subs, all that good stuff. Comments, get those questions on in Wolfpack. Seeing so many new names as we get through there. Would love to have you be a regular here at the Roto Street Journal. Hit that sub button, folks. So yeah, there good conversation going on between Nicola and Rushing Yard. We'll pop through though. I love when you guys talk and answer each other's questions. But let's continue forward.
Good for the algorithm.
Yeah.
Bulldog. Man, am I high wanting to start Jeff Wilson over Eckler? I feel safe with Eckler, but can see 150 a touchdown.
I mean, yes, you're high. And I love Jeff Wilson. I've talked about how he's the best running back in the league. But over Eckler, I mean, Eckler truly is the best fantasy running back. He's my number one running back of the week. Arizona, not a scary matchup. You're not benching Eckler. Get Jeff Wilson in if you can. He's my running back 9 on the week. He's top 10 for me, but not at the expense of Eckler, my number 1 running back. You are pretty high if you're going to do that, yes. Let me know what you've got over there, Bulldog, because I could definitely use some myself.
Hold on 1 second. My coffee went down my wrong.
Oh, good luck. I hope you don't die over there. I'll hit the next couple while you recover. Pathetic human beings here at the Roto Street Journal. Like and share, Wolfpack. Thank you so much, Austin. Oh, and the super chat. Sorry, we missed this one earlier. This must have been what David was referring to. So trade AJ Brown for Wilson and Godwin. I would do that. Yes. As much as I like AJ Brown, probably the best player in the deal. You guys know how high I am on Jeff Wilson. I think Godwin versus Brown, like not too big of a gap. Certainly not a Jeff Wilson size gap, especially if you need the running back. I hit this deal for sure. I like this one. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, you're getting like a high-end RB2 and a receiver 1 back for receiver 1 who's been kind of inconsistent lately.
I mean, he's got 1.2 and 6.4 the last 2 weeks. He's killing me right now. I need AJ Brown to get his shit together. If that offer was made to me, I would accept that. Yes. So I'm there. And David's explaining that super chat for anybody out there that wants to jump the line. Super chat. But a free way to help is that thumbs up button. Thank you so much, Wolfpack.
Jeremiah Moore, Noah Fant, Foster Moreau, or Higbee if he plays. Happy to. Moreau's that great matchup today. I'm sorry, I'm in one of my leagues.
Seattle is a great spot. I think if Higbee plays, I probably go him just because who else are they going to throw to? He might have like Kelsey-like volume today. He had 7 targets last week and hauled them all in. But Moreau gives you the chance to at least wait it out. All these guys, I guess, actually play that 4 o'clock window. I do like Moreau if Higbee sits, but if Higbee plays, I think I go him. It's close, though. It's like 14 through 16. That's like all guys in that same exact range for me, that same exact tier, Jeremiah.
Tunes, Pickens, or Hollywood?
That's a pretty good one. I think I'm still going Pickens. He just hasn't really disappointed us much. Like, I love the guy. And last week, I think he had like 19 points and had a 40-yard touchdown, like just barely missed too. Like he almost had like a 30-point day. Pickens is just continuing to emerge. So I think I'm going to go with George. What about you?
I love it's such a funny name, George.
Yeah, George. And he's just like a monster. You don't picture him being a George, like slamming D-backs into the 6 feet to the turf. George.
If you want to wait on Hollywood for a week, I'll wait with you. So I don't have.
Yeah, I think this is a good. This is a good enough reason to wait. I'm bumping Pickens above Lazard, and I'll stop it there. So my wide receiver 30, Curtis wide receiver 32 for Marquise Brown. It is close, but I'd wait this one. Yeah, you got to play Eckler. That's what I agree with too. Good morning, Denny Jennings. Crack open one for us, my man.
Aiden Dalmanian, Sky Moore, or Kyron Williams.
Oh, the money is made in the crumbs, as they say. We are definitely in the crumbs here. I think I go Kyron. We talked about him a lot on the waiver wire show. I wouldn't be shocked at all, especially a week like this week where all these other injuries are happening. Could see 8 to 10 targets. Could just take over a 3-down back roll. We know the game script is likely to be the one where they want Kyron every 2-minute offense drill last week, every 3rd down situation last week. I think they're going to be in that constant chasing points. It's just much more guaranteed work. You're going to see 12 to even 20 touches potentially from Kyron, whereas better offense, obviously, by a country mile, but who knows how involved he is. I am intrigued by Moore. I definitely like stashing him today and seeing what happens before those 4 o'clock games. But as of right now, I would lean Kyron. What about you?
Yeah, with Juju back, I'm not touching Sky Moore. I mean, I did like what I saw of him last week, but no, not anymore.
Yeah. Let's go, Russian Yard. Hell yeah. Let's go, baby.
Just after Sunday, Sutton or Ayuk.
I'm going Ayuk. I have Sutton. I put him on the bench for Palmer this week. Put him on the bench for Christian Watson this week. I'm done with that experience. That's not fun.
No, it's terrible. And then Kamara or Rachaad White.
I'm going White over Kamara. Am I nuts?
Not really.
Yeah. Kamara just hasn't been that good this year, and it's a tough matchup, and White just the softest of matches up. I feel great about him.
I thought Dalton would be checking down a lot more this year.
Yeah.
Gabriel, hey guys, which one would you sit? Pacheco, Watson, Sutton.
I think I'm sitting Sutton. I mean, just follow the trend. We're benching Sutton. Screw that guy.
Travis Mason, happy Sunday, dudes. Happy PPR, pick a receiver and 2 flex. Pittman, Burks, Campbell, Kamara, Rachaad White, Perine.
So the flex is definitely going to be 2 running backs here. And I'm going to go White and Kamara myself. You agree with that stance at least?
Yep.
And then the receiver is a little trickier here. I mean, most would tell you Pittman, but I'm not a Pittman, not this year at least. I love the player, but not in this offense right now. I kind of like going Burks, but Campbell's been so steady too. I don't know.
Oh, no, you do. Never mind. You need the receiver.
So I just double-checked my ranks. So this one, I truly don't have a gut leaning. I had Pittman 34, Burks 36, Campbell 37. I mean, they all within a spot of each other pretty much. I guess you go the number 1, though, and you go Pittman, I guess. I don't feel great about that, though. What about you, Pittman versus these other 2?
That's kind of how I think, too. I think, Campbell's been better than Pittman recently.
Yeah.
But then you go name, you go talent, you go whatever else, and it's – I don't want to do Burks yet over, I think, both of them.
Yeah.
I'd be a puss and just go Pittman.
We're going with the number 1 there. It's the play. It's the play.
Danny Jennings, half PPR, need 2 running backs and a flex. Carter, Perine, Rachaad White. I'd probably just go those 2. And then DPJ and Lazard.
I knew we'd get a ton of White questions, just given how many people in the Wolf Pack probably have White after we've talked about him so much. And my answer is going to continue to be White. We're going White. And we talked about this earlier. I actually go Carter over Perine myself. But then I also think I go Perine over the other 2 receivers. Yeah, I think I just go all 3 running backs here. What about you?
Yeah, that was my first thing.
Yeah, ride the backs, baby. Let's go, Denny. Good luck, brother.
Seamus, hey boys, pick 3. I still can't believe he's never called in.
What a joke, 3. Seamus. Get on the call line.
The call line was built for Seamus.
It was.
Pick 3 of these. Need the most guaranteed points possible. So bench 1: Palmer, Lazard, Watson, Ayuk.
Need the most. We all want the most guaranteed points. You need the most points. Who's going to score the most? Oh boy! Obviously, we want the most points. That's what we're. Thanks for the preface. But I guess what he's probably getting at is he wants the highest floor. It's not like he needs an enormous blow up. So, to me, the safest options here are Ayuk, Lazard, and Palmer. But I'm not benching Watson. I love Watson. He's not the most guaranteed. He's probably the most likely to disappear of any of these guys, but I'm playing Palmer, Watson, and Ayuk myself and saying, screw floor. Let me go for the ceiling. Let's hope Slay is on Lazard and Watson just goes nuts tonight. So I'm going Palmer, Watson, Ayuk. What about you?
Yeah, I think if he wants floor, I'd take Watson out. So I know he has a high percentage target share, but they don't throw the ball that much. But
Yeah.
I think if he wants to be safe, Palmer, Lazard, Ayuk.
Yeah, I mean, that is the safest options. But I guess the good news, too, is that game's tonight. So let's say, and I don't know if you have people you're facing on Monday or whatnot, but let's say it's all over and you only need 6 points. Lazard's definitely more likely to get you 6 to 10. But Watson has that like 25. Like you'll know what you need more while you head into the night. And 95% of the chances I'm going to go Watson myself. Because he's the least like if somebody was not going to get you 5 points out of this list, it'd be Watson disappearing and the pumpkin coming in here. But ultimately, I like Watson. I don't think that's going to happen to him, and that's where I lean. I think the 3 best players are Palmer, Watson, and Ayuk.
Giuseppe need to pick up a quarterback for Fields, Mariota, Matt Ryan, Russ, Heineke.
Kind
of went over this.
Brissett was also there, so I remember that one. We talked about that. We went Brissett.
Apex already lost Mixon this week. Says Debo should suit up, but his injury still lingering. Do I start him or go with my safety valve and Montgomery?
I don't know how safe Montgomery is. I think that offense could just get swallowed today. I mean, on the plus, Montgomery's going to get as much work as he can possibly handle. And then you have no goal line vulture. So it could be like what James Conner benefits from Colt McCoy. The only issue is we got Trevor Siemian, who's a whole lot like worse than Colt McCoy. I could see a complete shutout with like nobody doing anything for the Bears. So I'm going to go Debo. I can't bench Debo for Debo.
Yeah, we already said we were saying Debo over much better players earlier. So
yeah. I didn't even see the game. The Oregon game was nuts, sounds like.
It was. And then stopped watching college football last night.
Drunken misery.
It was a great game, though. Glad they lost. Giuseppe Russo, who do I drop for a quarterback? Kyron Williams, Dylan, Gus, or Baker? Oh, for the quarterback that he's picking up for the Fields.
Yeah, well, I think he can slide Fields into the IR. But if not, I mean, honestly, Dylan might be the most cuttable here because I kind of want to see how it shakes out with the Rams. I think after today's game, you'll know you can cut one of them. And I think my guess is Akers is the more likely one you cut. But we don't – what if they just turn back and, like, think Akers is the guy they drafted 2 years ago and they feed him 25 times? Like, then you'd be pissed you cut him. So, to me, Dylan's the only one on here that's, like, we know what it is. It's a handcuff, and it's not even that sexy of a handcuff at this point. So I think I cut Dylan.
Try to put Fields in IR though.
Yeah, if you can, obviously you want to hold on to Dylan, like if you can. But to me, he's probably the worst of all these guys.
Jeremiah, Finns, Chiefs, Colts, or Commanders defense?
I would go Chiefs. Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of good matchups there. All good matchups, really. I'd go Chiefs and then Dolphins would be my next up. But I really, really like Bryce and Bryce Perkins. The Chiefs are in a great spot.
Mm-hmm. Richard B need 2 flex players: Pacheco, Perine, Gibson, and Boyd.
I don't know.
2 running backs in the middle. Perine and Gibson.
I'm gonna go Perine Gibson. Yeah, Boyd's if it's full PPR, Boyd versus Perine's very close for me though. If it's full PPR, but if most situations, I'm gonna go Gibson and Perine. Yeah.
What's up, SGT stacking? Needs help. Jimmy G or Brady?
We had that one earlier. I'm gonna go Jimmy G. I switched him this morning. I like Jimmy G today.
And then Perine or Kamara?
I'm going to go Kamara there. So, yeah, we knew Mixon was out as of Friday. But, yeah, even with that out, it's a tough matchup. Again, good receiving spot for running backs against Tennessee, but still a really tough run D. Like, if he doesn't find the end zone, I'm worried Perine might just put up like 6 points today, not even. So I'm going to go Kamara there. Let those guys continue chatting. I love it. Keep going, chat with each other. What do we got, Robert?
Rob Moreno, Hobble, Josh Jacobs, or Rachaad White today?
That's good. Maybe just go White. Play it safe. Like, go White. Yeah, I'm going to change my rankings to reflect that, but I think I'd go White over Jacobs, yeah.
And then also for receiver, Devonta Smith or Cortland Sutton.
I'm going Devonta. He 35-ish%. It can always bench Sutton at this point, I think is the answer. But no, it's all about 30% target share in back-to-back weeks with no Goddard. I like that. I think it's a solid spot for Devonta. And I hate Sutton.
Yep. Steve, would you go Zay Jones or Nico Collins?
Oh, yeah, I guess
I
Nico.
think I'm going Zay. I'm going Zay there.
Nico's seen 17 targets the last 2 weeks. So he's like pseudo taking over that number one role. I don't think he's that good, but I feel like the work is at least a little more guaranteed. I'm worried. I'm starting Lawrence, and I'm terrified the Jags are just going to get completely blanked by the Ravens and not even put up like more than a touchdown. So I'm going to go Nico there. I mean, both are tough, but give me Nico.
Rushing yard. I'm also in a tough situation with Olave in Hollywood. They say he'll be on a snap count, but I mean Rondell Moore is also out and Dortch is banged up. So I don't know.
Yeah, it is. That's a tough spot. Yeah, I'm gonna go Olave. I'm just a little good enough reason to be able to see Marquise Brown and get the tryout week in a way.
Aaron Cooley, what's up, guys? Standard need one to flex. Foreman, Palmer, ride the hot hand with Watson.
I
think I'd go Palmer, Watson, Foreman.
I would too. I know standard's a little trickier, but yeah, when there's no Mike Will, I think it's a great spot for Palmer. Ride that hot hand. After that, the real hot hand there's Palmer. I mean, they're both pretty hot, but yeah, I'm gonna go Palmer. Foreman's just so game flow risk.
Yeah, no, they're gonna get smashed today. Schultz is amazing. I know why so many people dropped him. I know that was really tough in the beginning of the season. I had him on 2 rosters and somehow found a way to start some bums while he was doing nothing.
And now he's locked right back into top 5. Yeah, you're able to deal and weather that storm. I think you got yourself a nice tight end the rest of the year for sure, and a very shallow pool.
Tunes, Everett's coming off injury. Need to drop one of these. Everett, Dulcich, Cousins, DPJ, or Boyd. I'm pretty sure Cousins is his third quarterback.
He has Jefferson for stack backup as Brady. I don't know that you need to keep Cousins.
He has Deshaun Watson too.
Yeah, if you have 3 quarterbacks, then definitely cut one of them. If not, I don't see any reason to keep Dulcich on a roster. I'd definitely rather have Everett than Dulcich. I cut Dulcich myself, and nobody went to go get him. Nobody wants Dulcich. He sucks. So yeah, I'd cut Dulcich. I'd either cut a quarterback if you have 3. Or Dulcich if you want to keep one for a backup, that's totally fine. It sounds like we got another super chat, a super sticker. I'm trying to. I don't see a question with it from Jose, so we'll keep our eyes peeled. And my man David, I know you're there regulating as always. If you see a question from Jose come in, awesome, let us know. We'll keep our eyes peeled. Thank you so much, Jose, for the support of the show.
He just wants to give us a sticker.
Hey, maybe just giving us a sticker, showing his appreciation. But we will keep our eyes peeled for a question. Much appreciated there. We had left off with Tunes, so we were at Jared. I feel the other day on Thanksgiving, I put somebody in timeout by accident. I hope there's KC something. So hopefully they come back because they're asking great questions too. It was definitely a mistake putting him in timeout. There's no repeats or anything. So like, fuck this asshole. What do we got for Jared?
Jared, ETN or Najee?
I gotta go ETN. I mean, Henderson did sign there, but he's not going to be active. And even if, I still think it's an ETN show here. And Najee's in a really good spot this week. But I don't love the player. So I'm going to go ETN. What about you?
I got it. ETN's my guy.
Yeah,
especially Najee sucks. Another one, Najee. Debo's questionable. I picked up Paris Campbell's replacement. Good idea.
I think Campbell's a great replacement. It sounds like he might have. Oh, there it is. Came in with another one. And he has a question for this one. Thank you, Jose. Double super chats. So greatly appreciated. You didn't need to do it twice, but we're so grateful and thankful. Thank you, Jose. What do we got here?
He's asking Olave or White at the flex.
I go White here. A great matchup again against Cleveland. Bottom 2 run defense. Just a safer workload. I don't trust. I'm worried about the Saints today and Olave. I love Olave, but White's in just such a good spot. I can't bench him. I'm going to go White there over Olave. Yeah. What about you?
I'm with you too. And then rest of the season, White or Pacheco. Got to go White.
Yeah, it's still White for me. I mean, Pacheco is the starter. So like White, you obviously could lose that starting role once Fournette's back, but I mean, he could light it up today and never give the starting role back.
Pacheco's also like in between the 20s starter.
Exactly. Right. And it will be a big week this week, though, to see like no CEH. He's on IR now. That was the guy that was gobbling up a lot of the red zone work. I think they'll probably bring in your love, Ronald Jones, and ultimately he'll be a vulture. But if Pacheco does take over that goal line role, he's going to be a beast. But as you're saying, until then, it's kind of the empty calories of fantasy. It's the 15 carries and a good offense. Sounds amazing, but ultimately it's like 20. He gets like 20 carries for 80 yards, and you're like, yay, 8 points. Nice.
Yeah, that was what was the last week? He had 100 yards, and so he had 10 points.
Yeah, he got to 10, and he looks good. He's definitely a good player, and again, it's a great offense. But if he's not getting the red zone work, it's just such a cap ceiling. He's not getting the catches because McKinnon's taking those, whereas White truly has like every down at his disposal potentially. So I'm going to go with the upside there. Good question, Jose. But yeah, I'm going Rachaad White for sure. All righty, we left off. Well, we got a lot of questions. We'll have to hit his rapid fire sooner than later looking at all this. I love it, Wolfpack. So many of you here, over 50 of you live with us. Please do hit again that thumbs up button. Help us continue to get out to more people. And way to cut the line would be super chats. Let's keep rolling, though. We still got plenty of time to try to make it through all these. We will make it through all the questions.
Sarah Riley, half PPR flex, Higgins, Jeff Wilson, Ayuk.
Wow, that's a good one. I think I'm gonna go Wilson over Higgins though, and I love Higgins, but that's just how confident I am in Jeff Wilson with no Mostert. What about you?
Yeah, I'm with you. Her team's always stacked.
So stacked, yeah, very very stacked. Yeah, Wilson though, that's how good I feel about him against such a bad defense. Benny T coming in with another super chat. You guys are so generous today. Thank you very much. What do we got for my man Benny?
Pickens, Palmer, or Watson PPR.
I go Palmer here. No Mike Williams. He's just going to be money. I would rank them Palmer, then Watson, then Pickens myself, though, if you needed two options. But I go pick Palmer as my favorite here. What about you?
Yeah, I'd go Palmer, Pickens, Watson, but same thing. Both
Three
Palmer.
top 28 options. I mean, they're all in the same tier for me. They're all great players. But, yeah, Palmer, I just like the feel of that game. It feels like it's definitely got some points ready to be had there. So, thank you so much, Benny. But yeah, we're both going Palmer there. Watson would be my next man up, though, if you needed two. All righty. We left off at.
We got over there. Shades, I think.
Tua or Burrow. That's a pretty good one. Earlier this week, I was like, Burrow not getting benched, especially if Jamar Chase is back. This is really tight. What do you think of Tua versus Burrow this week? I don't know.
So because you love Wilson so much, you think it's just going to be kind of like, let's run the ball, get out of here, and
it could be absolutely
that much. Or McDaniel also will run up the score though if he wants.
And Miami does like to run it up. That's what I like about them. They just always put up points, kind of like the Bills of years past. Houston's sneaky good against quarterbacks, but I do think it's more so they're so bad against the run that teams just don't even bother to throw because they can just run it right down their throat. Yeah. So I'm leaning Burrow. I feel like that game has the potential to stay a little closer, and Burrow needs to just chuck it throughout the rest of the day. They're really good, Tennessee, against the runs. It's like the premier pass funnel rather, defense here. So yeah, I'm gonna go Burrow. I'm gonna stick to my guns here. It is close, but I'm sticking to Burrow. What about you?
Yeah, more of a shootout potential. The Dolphins could get up like 3 touchdowns early and just grind it out.
Yeah. There we go.
Ryan Hemming, smash that like button.
Smash it, baby. Hit that thumbs up. 52 of you here. Let's keep getting that number up. You guys are awesome.
Tunes, running backs are stacked in one league. Barkley already played, but I have ETN, Jeff Wilson, Monty, and I sat Zeke. Currently sitting Monty. Is that the right call?
Yeah, you're playing ETN and Jeff Wilson absolutely over Monty. Oh, yeah. So they're another guys interacting. Love it. Keep helping each other out. Keep answering each other's questions. Yeah, it is so boom or bust right now with Dalvin, though. So annoying.
Taco, a.k.a. Snoopy. Dulcich, Njoku, or Trey McBride?
A natural nickname for Taco. Oh, of course. Snoopy. Yes.
Wouldn't Taco be the AK? It should be Snoopy. AKA
yeah.
Taco.
Who knows? But I love it. So Greg Dulcich, Njoku, or McBride. I almost want to go Njoku here. I worried about the snap count, but I'm just so sick of starting Broncos. Like, there's nothing worse than just watching that offense 3 and out. Latavius Murray plods in for a touchdown, and it's like, and that's it. Again, under 18 points in all but like one game this year. It is so painful. And I don't know. I'm not a Dolchic's guy. I think I'm going to go Njoku here. What about you?
Yeah, probably. But the Broncos are. It's so funny how high we were on this guy like 2 weeks ago. It's like the second coming of tight ends.
It's just like once you go through the experience of actually playing him, and you're just like, oh. And even when he was getting there, it'd be like one big play, like a broken coverage, and Dolchic's found the end zone. Otherwise, it was like a 1.7 day, and it shoots up to 9, and it's like, oh, okay, he got there. I don't know. I don't like him at all. I don't like anything to do with the Broncos. So yeah, I'll go to Njoku and just hope he gets.
Listen to this. So the Bears are starting Nathan Peterman today after Simeon suffered an injury in pregame warmups.
Oh my God. Jets defense, folks. Oh my God. Peterman. Last time out, didn't he have like 6 interceptions and a half? I absolutely love it. We'll come back to Tunes, but
I had Simeon's under passing yards today, under 200 passing yards. So it's gonna DNP me.
Super chat for Broderick Forcier.
One receiver in a flex, half PPR. Evans, Pittman, Mike Carter, Pirine. I'm going Evans, Carter.
Yeah, me too. I think Evans over Pittman's very easy for me. And then a lot of people would tell you Pirine over Carter, but I know James Robinson, healthy scratch. Mike White, nearly 40% of his passes going to running backs. Like, I love Mike Carter today. I think I love that prize pick. You had 2.5 catches. Like, he might have that in the first drive, 2.5 catches. Like, I am all about Mike Carter's props today. I like him a lot as a fantasy play. Definitely over Pirine. And Pirine's in a good spot. But yeah, I'm going Evans and I'm going Carter there. I'm with you, CJ. So Broderick, thank you so much. And thank you, everybody. So many super chats today. It's awesome. Be able to retire early, CJ. Maybe I'll have to go to the office tomorrow. We'll see. But no, you guys are great. Thank you so much again for your support of the show, for being here. And that free way to support it is, again, that thumbs up button, subscribing to the show, hitting that bell so you know we're live, answering your questions. All righty. We left off at
right here. Yeah.
You got it.
We're talking about the Dulcich situation. Tunes full PPR sit one of these: Palmer, Pickens, Watson, Gus Edwards.
I'm sitting Gus. Yeah. Yep. I love all those receivers. So let's see what Gus does, but he might come along slow today. We'll see. It's a committee either way. Yeah. Gus is the easy sit for me. Yes. No problem.
Like Jared, I picked some Preston Fields, but I had Josh Allen too. I played Allen, which was great.
It was great. Yeah. Nice. Nearly 30 points on Thanksgiving. You got to love that.
Probably could have gotten something back at the trade deadline for Fields or
Allen.
Yo, soy Tony, happy belated Thanksgiving, guys. Start 3 of these: Pirine, Patterson, Pacheco, Drake, Gus, Burks, more.
A lot of options. Okay. I like Pirine and Pacheco the most. I like Burks. I don't like DJ Moore, even though Darnold back is a good thing for him. I don't really want to go to the Ravens backfield right now. Cordell. So I think I'm going to go Pirine, Patterson, and Pacheco and just hope like Patterson breaks a long one. What about you?
Yeah, Burks is my only other thought out of this group.
I agree too.
The three running backs I'll go.
Yeah, since he does have a pretty good secondary, so I like Burks, but I'm more so I'd rather wait and see it, and I think Patterson's a good enough reason to wait and see it. Good options though, Yoso Tony. Good options.
DJ Johnson, good morning, boys. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Bench 1, half PPR, CMC, Chubb, Ken Walker, Jeff Wilson. Jesus.
I know. Wow.
I think I would bench Chubb, honestly. That was good.
I know. This is tough. I mean, Chubb's definitely the worst spot, probably the lowest floor, even though it's Chubb, which is nuts. I can't bench CMC or Walker. I don't think I'd bench Chubb for Jeff Wilson. As much as I love Wilson, such a safe spot today. I don't know. Maybe I would. Like, Chubb's the most dangerous of these options to like bust on you. But he also could have 170 and a 2 touch. It's Chubb, like the best running back in the league too. So that's really tough. But I would, maybe you do bench Chubb. I don't know. I'm bumping Chubb at least below Taylor in my rankings, but I don't think I can bump him below Jeff Wilson. So I would bench Wilson myself, but if your gut's saying go Wilson, bench Chubb, certainly justifiable this week.
Belda, Lazard or Boyd for the flex?
I prefer Boyd. No Jamar Chase. Good matchup for wide receivers. I like Boyd today. What about you?
Yeah, that Packers situation kind of grosses me out.
Yeah.
First there, I think that was the
we already hit that one with the super chat. Thank you again, Austin, for your support.
Keenan, Chiefs or Jets defense?
I mean, that's became a whole lot harder now that Peterman's starting. It would have been the Chiefs easy, but I feel like you got to go Jets. Like when you're facing Peterman, it doesn't get better than that. So yeah, I have Jets 1, Chiefs 2. My top 2 defenses. Good spot, Keenan. Yeah, I'd love Jeff too. Clearly. Let's find. Here we go. Waddle or McLaurin for Marcus. Ooh, McLaurin against Atlanta, but I can't bench Waddle. I mean, Waddle is just so explosive. Like, I'm going Waddle. What about you?
Yeah, I'm with you there. I go Waddle.
Yeah. You kind of like you set and forget.
Campanelli, get the Wolf, the Jeff Wilson body pillow. Sorry, Hills.
Yes, get that body pillow, and I might be living on my own soon.
Hey, David Montgomery will be the emergency quarterback. So.
Wow, they're probably going to need to go to him too because Peterman's going to throw like 3 interceptions.
Patty Mateo, happy Sunday, Wolf and CJay. Big week on number 2 needs to be the number 1 team. Big underdog. Full PPR, Latavius, Gus, or Drake.
I'm following the volume. I mean, it's not sexy, but Latavius is the guy that's clearly going to get 20 touches, whereas Gus and Drake are going to nibble each other all day. I'm going to go Latavius. What about you?
Yeah, especially with Gus back, it's just that backfield's kind of gross.
Yeah. There are definitely some defensive questions going on. I love Russian Yard today, answering all the questions, giving some good analysis in the chat. I think that was all before we figured out Peterman was starting. And once we got that, it's like, oh, baby. Anytime Peterman started, especially against a good defense like the Jets, number 1 defense by a mile.
My Keenan flex questions, People Jones or Garrett Wilson?
I'm going to go Garrett. I think with one, I think the defense is going to just dominate for the Jets, so they're going to always have the ball. You got Mike White now, which is at least mildly competent compared to Zach Wilson. So I like Garrett Wilson today. What about you? DPJ is a little safer, though. I mean, he's been so good.
I was going to say, I'm going to go DPJ there, I think.
I just feel like Wilson
White also like Corey Davis.
Corey Davis is coming back, yeah. And what if Eli Moore gets involved? So I get that, but I'm leaning Garrett Wilson myself.
I love how we're acting like Mike White's this like savior to the Jets.
Yeah, it can't be worse than Wilson. That's all it really comes down to. It can't be worse than Zach.
And then Mike Carter, DeMarcus Robinson, or Samuel.
Mike Carter. I feel really good about Carter this week with no Robinson, a healthy scratch, with his guy Mike White there to pepper him. I feel pretty good. Thank you for your kind words too, Mike. Glad you're enjoying the show, baby.
Mr. Lakers, who won this trade, full PPR, Diggs and Njoku for Eckler and Drake London. It's basically Diggs for Eckler.
Yeah, right. I prefer the Eckler Drake side just because I slightly have Eckler a little higher rest of the season. I guess it depends on your tight end needs and stuff too. It's a close deal. I mean, 2 great studs, but I prefer the Eckler side just a little slightly.
Daniel Mateus, would you bench Garrett Wilson for Brandon Cooks?
No, fuck Cooks. I have 0 interest in ever playing him.
KJ Frederick.
He's the one I blocked by accident, so he's back. Sorry again, KJ, for putting you in timeout. As soon as I saw the name, I was like, oh shit, there he is. Sorry for putting you in timeout by accident last time. I'm glad you're back with us. I think we answered all your questions before we put you in timeout by accident, but I'm glad you're back either way.
He's like one of those kids on like the playground that is like near the fight happening and got in trouble for it.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't even trying to put anybody in timeout. It was just like I clicked his question and by accident hit like the 2 dots that put him in timeout. But glad you're back, KJ. What do we got here? Campbell, Boyd, Perine, Gus Bus. I think Perine. Full PPR, though, Boyd's close. It's Perine versus Boyd for me. I think I'm going to go for the running back just because a little bit more guaranteed. Like Boyd last week had 40 yards, and it had nothing until the last few drives. So a little bit less of a floor, whereas Perine, is getting carry after carry, catch after catch. I feel okay about that. What about you?
Yeah, that's how I feel with running back. Whenever it's like a receiver running back kind of in the same spot, I usually play the running back.
Especially with a running back that's so involved in the pass game like Perine will be for the full PPR. So, yeah, we're leaning Perine there, KJ. Thanks for returning despite the timeout stint.
DJ Johnson, half PPR. Keenan, Evans, or Godwin?
I prefer Mike here. They're actually pretty good, the Browns, against the slot. I think they're the 4th hardest matchup, 4th or 5th, but they're bottom 5 against outside. So I feel pretty good about Evans having himself a blow up today.
Mm-hmm. Tim Grasick, Dolphins, Eagles, Ravens.
I got to go Ravens. against the Jags, also because of how good their rest of season schedule is too. Dolphins in a vacuum, they've got a great spot today, but I'm going to go Raiders. We got FDA World answering some questions. Love to see it again, guys. Chat helping each other out. What's better than that? Give that thumbs up. Even better than that. We so appreciate it. Help us continue to grow and get out to more people. We're 12:20 here, so I'd say about 10 minutes, and I'm going to rapid fire this thing, but we can try to get a few more in before the rapid fire.
George Alarcon. Need one of these for my flex, full PPR. Hollywood, DPJ, or Pacheco.
Kind of like Hollywood, but he's definitely the
That's why I
riskiest
think
here.
I would go Hollywood.
I'm leaning Hollywood unless you're a really, really heavy favorite, because the other two definitely have good, stable floors, whereas Hollywood might be a few snaps and then you don't see him. But, man, the upside with Hollywood and a potential shootout with the Chargers, I'm leaning there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Godwin, whether it's crap, Watson or Sutton, I'm still going Godwin even in the crap weather. I don't think it's that bad, is it?
Not that I've seen. Usually on Twitter there'll be someone posting a video. I haven't seen anything like that. So.
Yeah.
Mike Keenan and then Sanders or Perine.
I'm leaning probably Sanders, the better offense, and Green Bay's a really bad run team. So I'm leaning Sanders there.
Fatty Mateo, Marlon Mack is the most added free agent today. Yeah, whose note says coaching staff believes he'll be involved.
No, I mean, he might be involved, but I don't give a shit. It's the Broncos.
I didn't even play the Broncos.
I don't even want to play Sutton, their number one receiver. Like, I don't want their second string running back. No, that's not talented at all. A reminder, we'll back that 100 deposit match for Underdog, for prize picks. Check out the links in the description, or links in the comments rather, or code RSJ if you download. Great spot to make some money. Great apps to play on, and great to get that $100 match, so you have plenty of money to play with.
Speaking of Underdog, Mike Reed is asking Underdog this week, pick one of these, Perine, Burks, or Sutton.
I don't know what the lines are for each, but I feel like if it's one, I mean, I have to pick one to play.
Well, unless if it's, is he talking about like the best ball?
Maybe like a best ball draft for the week. I'd go Perine there. Although Burks, if you win a tournament, Burks probably has the highest ceiling.
Fatty Mateo, full PPR, need a max ceiling. Pick two of these: DK, Lockett, Palmer, Lazard, Pickens.
It's tricky because like DK and Lockett are the two best options. If you need the max ceiling, I wonder if you cap yourself a little bit. I mean, double stack of those two is really never like they can both go off. It's not like they always cannibalize each other, DK and Lockett, but it is less likely that both go completely nuts. So if I'm benching one, it would be for Palmer. I probably would bench Lockett over DK, but I think I'm going to go both Seahawks here. What about you?
Yeah, I was leaning DK Palmer, but I mean Lockett's just as explosive. I feel like he gets very like not talked about just because DK is DK.
Yeah,
they couldn't look like more polar opposite.
I know Lockett's been really good all year though. I have him in a league. I like didn't even want him, but he was there in round 10, and he's been my wide receiver 3 all year, and he should be a low end 1. You know, he's great.
Yeah, let's stack the two Seahawks.
Let's stack those Seahawks and hope Geno just goes berserk today.
Jared, Denver defense is decent mostly.
Yeah, they're very decent. Again, they'd be 9-1 if they could score more than 18 points a game.
Michael Vigagni, PPR with Jacobs, late injury designation, sit in for Pacheco and put Boyd in my flex, or roll with Jacobs and Pacheco.
No, Jacobs is too good to – I know it seems risky, but I think he's fine. And he's been so good. I mean, 30-point ceiling, very few people have that. And plus the floor has been really, really nice with Jacobs. So I stick with Jacobs and Pacheco. Full PPR, I might even put in Boyd over Pacheco, but I'm not benching Jacobs either way.
Mike Clay, Connor, White, Wilson, sit one of these.
If Wilson is Jeff, not Jeff, I'm playing Rachaad White and Jeff Wilson there. And, man, I like Connor, but, yeah, he gets the bench for those two.
Jared, I love Heineke. He played in the XFL. I know.
He sure did.
That video of him just like pounding seltzers after the game.
Yeah, I love it. Starter set. I'm gonna fire up the rapid fire Wolfpack because we got about 20 minutes till I got to sign off. We still have a bunch of questions, so here we go, Wolfpack. Please do consider hitting that thumbs up button as we fire this one on up for you. If you want to cut the line or get more depth to your answer than what I'm going to do in the rapid fire, then a super chat is the only way to do that. It'd be so greatly appreciated. We left off with, we were right at, I lost my spot. Right here, Jared. I love Heineke. So we're at starter sit Foreman. It obviously depends on your other options. I think he'll be more in play this week than usual because you're not going to get game flowed out against Denver. So you can play him this week for sure. It depends who the other options are. Dicker or Carlson? I'm going to go Dicker. I love Cam Dicker, the kicker. DPJ or Burks? I'm going DPJ in a full PPR for A-game. Grizzo. Tim Grazik's Dicker, Butker, or Carlson? Dicker for me. Gibson, Boyd, Ayuk, or Olave for Austin Firster. I'm going and you already have Kamara in there. I get you want to limit your exposure to Saints. Honestly, I like Gibson there. Start Tua or Geno. Definitely Tua for me, Garrett Bolowich. And I like Geno, but Tua's the play. Juwan Johnson or Greg Dulcich in PPR. I'm going Juwan Johnson. Like the video, guys, please. I love the nice manners for Rachaad. Need these guys every year with the advice. Hell yeah. Thank you. I'm so happy to help you out, Russian Yard. Thanks for the hype. And thanks for being so active in the chat today with everybody. Dub Dollars. Would you start Palmer and Keenan Allen together? Yeah, no problem. And yeah, when Hollywood's the other option, I love, I can't wait to see what this offense does, but I'd like to try it, see him stash, wait it out. And those are two good options to do so. Best waiver tight end this week. If Higbee is out, Juwan Johnson was out there in a bunch of leagues. I don't know if he's still there.
Foster Moreau.
Foster Moreau. Yeah, that's true. Because you can wait to the 4 p.m.s as well. Fields is out. Do I play Brady, Carr, Brissett? Jimmy G. I would go Jimmy G there. Tim Grotzik. Appreciate the feedback suggestions. You're the man. Thank you so much, Russian Yard. Need a wide receiver too. Lockett versus Joe. Joe Mama. Nice, Fatty Mateo. Coming in with some gold every week. I always love it. Pierre Aguilera. Aaron Jones or Rachaad PPR. I'm going Rachaad White over Aaron Jones. Whew. It's a little sketch, but I like it. Ravens or Dolphins? I'm going Ravens, Tim. Alrighty, I know that's answered some questions, so we'll keep moving. Morning, Brendan. Start 3, have PPR. Lazard, D. Robinson, Gus Bus, Brian Robinson, Miles Sanders. I'm going Sanders. I'm going Lazard, and I'm going to go DeMarcus Robinson. I'm a really big fan of him this week. Huge super chat coming in. What do we got here? Chillard. Thank you so much, my man. Great to see you, Chillard. What do we got for you? Traded CD, Pittman, Sanders for JT Herbert. Had Fields but needed a backup plan. Left me with Duvernay, Ayuk, Hollywood, Parker. Ooh, rough receiver situation here. I don't know about this one. I mean, I love JT and Herbert, though. So, yeah, the best player of the deal. I'm not a big Pittman guy. You are pretty thin now. Started Parker on Thursday. I mean, not bad. 80 yards. Yeah, that worked out. All righty. So, need 2 receivers out of Ayuk, Hollywood, Parker, and Duvernay. I'm not playing Duvernay right now. 2 targets in 2 weeks. It seems like DeMarcus Robinson, honestly, is the guy there now. So give me Ayuk and give me Hollywood. Just hope for the bomb here, Chillard. I can't trust Duvernay right now. And I know you love him, and I like the player. He's made some really nice plays. But right now the usage is just so sketchy, so questionable. The fact that DeMarcus Robinson seeing more targets in 3 straight weeks, that's the guy I would lean to, honestly. So give me Ayuk and give me Hollywood here for those options. What about you, CJ? Between Duvernay, Ayuk, and Hollywood.
Duvernay, Ayuk, Hollywood.
You got to bench.
You got to bench one.
Yeah.
Duvernay.
Yeah. Okay. So we're aligned there. 1 DK play today. I mean, so obviously Jeff Wilson 5,900, Rachaad White 5,100. Like they're really tough to get away from either of them. I know you're eating chalk, so you have to get different elsewhere. I kind of like. I'm seeing Amari Cooper is going to be 2% rostered today. He's back at home. He's got, a 30-point ceiling, as we saw last week. Tampa Bay secondary is nothing special. So I kind of like Amari Cooper at really, really low ownership. I have him in a few lineups. I mean, the other guys I really like Higgins and McLaurin, are a little chalky. So in terms of like the underrated guy, I like him, and I really, really like Juju at 5,700. Do you have a sneaky DraftKings play today, CJ, that you're
I actually don't even have any DraftKings lineups at all today. I've just been have a bunch of
the soccer.
have a bunch of underdog plays. We can go over those in a little bit, but nothing off the top of my head. I don't think that's kind of sneaky or anything.
Yeah. All righty. Well,
like
Chiller, thank you.
Going Rachaad White and whatever.
Yeah. Exactly. Wilson, White, are such good running back plays. It's really tough to get away from them. I do like Gibson as a potential pivot, though, 5,400. Just because there's nothing new or exciting about him, nobody's really going to him. So if you wanted to pivot off of either Wilson or White, which again, tough to do, love both those guys. But I do like Gibson as a potential pivot off those guys. And again, for like a lesser owned receiver, Big fan of Juju and Cooper potentially today
Mike
as
Carter,
well.
would he be less around?
Mike Carter, another pivot. Yeah, 5,400. That's actually not a bad toss out either. Could get peppered from Mike White. Again, nearly 40% target share to running backs last week. So, yeah, that's actually another really good pivot to toss out of there that will be much lower owned. Murray will be really low owned too, but I'd rather have Carter myself. All righty. We had left off at rushing yard sharing his appreciation. Aaron Jones or Rachaad White. I said White. Oh, no, we were right here. Crano, favorite kind of pizza. I just like sausage or meatball on my pizza. Although the place Riverview does kielbasa pizza. Really, really good stuff too. Kyler Murray or Geno Smith. I'm going Kyler Murray, but it's 10 and 11. It's really close. Flex, Devonta Smith, Josh Palmer, or Paris Campbell. I'm going Palmer there. And should I sit D. Pierce for other flex options listed above? No, I'd play Pierce over either Smith or Paris Campbell. Dilibar. Roll a possibly limited Jacobs or start Connor instead. Luckily, both late window. I would go Jacobs unless we get any word that he's going to be truly, truly limited today, Dilibar. Dolchix or Everett? Definitely Everett for me. Which one to start? I don't know who the question was, Steven. P. Ryan or Jeff Wilson? Jeff Wilson by a mile, Jeremy. Do I get rid of Daniel Carlson for Sanders or Dicker? Yes, Dicker is my guy. Kamara, yeah, it's Kamara. Tough matchup, but I still like the player so much that I'm still going to most of the spots I have him. Which one to start? PPR, C. Patterson or Sanders or Gus Edwards? I'm going to go Miles Sanders there, Steven. Pickens or Campbell? I'm going Pickens, Mike Clay, but it is close. Campbell's been such a target hog. Jeremy, Burks or Garrett Wilson? Garrett Wilson, very slightly, though. I love them both. What do I think? I love Cam Dicker. I mean, good offense. The guy's been money all year. Good player. I'm definitely in on Dicker. Keenan Allen, Josh Palmer, Hollywood, pick 2. I'm going to go the 2 Chargers guys, my guy, Dub Dollars. Hurst, Logan Thomas, or Ingram or Moreau? I'm going Hayden Hurst. Aaron Jones or Jacobs? I'm going Jacobs. Have it 5 guys bet pick. Just need Rachaad to get a receiving or rushing TD. I definitely think that's a solid spot rush. Drew Backman, pick 2. Debo, Kirk, or White? I guess I'm mentioning Kirk, but I love all 3. That's a good brew. Aaron Jones or P. Ryan? I'm going Aaron Jones over P. Ryan. Oof, what a close one. Yeah, it is close. Remember to comment, like, subscribe. Indeed, Wolfpack. Those thumbs up button. A lot of new names here, too. Would love to have you here. Indeed. A lot of people taking rushing yards advice. I love it. No, rushing yard knows what he's doing. Good stuff. Brian Edwards released and went unclaimed. Yeah, I mean, he was an early penny stalker for us. But, man, yeah, he never came to fruition. It did look like a ton of potential, but didn't come to fruition. Starting Sanders or Boyd, PPR. And if PPR, I'm going to go Boyd there. Matt Stevens, 1 receiver, 1 flex spot. Najee, Carter, Terry, Mike Evans. I'm going to go Mike Evans and Najee. Kind of like Mike Evans and McLaurin, actually, in a full PPR at least. Dolchich, yeah, exactly. Rushing yard, 100%. Drew Bachman, pick 2. Debo, Kirk, or White? We already answered that one. I mentioned Kirk, even though I like him all. If I see it again, it's going to timeout. I'm getting a little power hungry here. Yo, full PPR for my man Edward. Jeff Wilson, Rachaad White, Godwin, Kamara. I'm going the first 2, Wilson and White. Corey Davis or Curtis Samuel? Curtis, I guess. 1 running back, 1 flex. Najee, Carter, Scary Terry. Oh, so we need to have at least 1 running back. So I'm going to go Najee and I'm going to go Mike Evans. Christian Watson or White. I'm going to go Rachaad White, Zach. P. Ryan or Ayuk. I'm going Ayuk, Sears. Yeah, thank you, Rushing Yard, indeed, for all the help in the chat today. Love it. Does anyone here play on FFPC? I don't, and I've always wanted to, but I don't know the waiver process. Sorry. Dilly Bar, C. Kirk or Evans? I'm going Evans, even though the weather. It's not. Is it really that bad? People keep bringing up the weather.
I'm gonna go look. I'll look at that.
Why don't you look that up, CJ? Because a couple people have been talking about that. Debo, Kirk, or White? Standard format. Drew asking the same question. Timeout time for Drew. But welcome to the show, Drew. Hopefully you come back. But yeah, repeat questions do get sent to the doghouse. Great games coming today and tomorrow. Oh yeah, I can't wait to see what Watson and the Browns. I am excited to see. Definitely a nice shakeup in the mid-year. See what happens. What's going on, Philip? Need to pick 2. Half PPR. Lockett, DK, Juju, or Palmer. I'm going to go Juju and DK there, Philip. Start Olave or Palmer. I'm going to go Olave, but it's close. T-Law or Russ. I'm going T-Law, Jaws. I'm in the same situation as Rushing Yard saying, and I'm going to go T-Law. We'll see how it goes. P. Ryan or Isaiah. I'm going to go P. Ryan three-way with that receiving work. Keep coming up with excuses. Nah, Russell sucks. No more excuses. I'm done with it. Brady, Jimmy G, Carr, Brissett. I'm going Jimmy G, Kyle Toons. Dulcich or Komet or McBride. I guess I got to go Dulcich, but I hate them all. Massive support from Mexico. Thank you. Sorry, Truth, I dropped Everett. Oh, you should never have dropped Everett. Come on. Such a good spot here against Arizona. Bad play. Chubb or Carter. I got to go Chubb, Brandy. Even though I do like Carter for the upside today, Chubb. Boyd or Ayuk. I'm going Ayuk, Austin. Oh, yes. None of us. If anybody in the chat does, please do. Cute sneeze in the background. Bless up. Did you sneeze?
No, it's Hillary.
Bless you.
It was a beautiful sneeze.
Beautiful sneeze. Chiefs defense, or thank you for your blessings, Jaws. Start Chiefs defense or Jets defense. I'm going Jets. Both great spots. My defense 1, defense 2, but I'm going Jets against Peterman. Always a smash. Palmer, A. Jones. I'm going A. Jones, Mike. At this point, you got to ask yourself which backup will throw. Yeah, exactly. And it's Peterman. So I'm going Peterman. The Bears QB is so bad. Yeah, so these guys are chatting. So let me just kind of find the question. Here we go. Kristen Mann. Good to see you, Kristen. Flex 2 or standard league, pick 1. Jones, Watson, or Kirk. Aaron Jones for me, but man, that's close. Remember to comment, subscribe, and share, as my man David says. Please do. What's going on, Texas Hustler? Wolf Howell. Let's go. Dallas, Texas is watching. Smash that button. Baylor, Baltimore, and KC defense. I'm going KC there. Great spot this week and a great rest of season schedule. Although I like stashing Baltimore because they also have a really good schedule. Them and Kansas City in particular balance each other out really, really well right now. Freiermuth or Everett. I'm going to go for Everett for the upside, Giuseppe. Jimmy G or Gino. I'm going Gino. Really, really slightly, David. Like, sub, and share, people. Indeed, thank you so much. Have a good one. Thank you, Rushing Yard, for so much interaction today. I'm there. Hope you guys beat your opponents unless it's me. Yeah, I love it. Peterman, big start today. Oh, no. Peterman sucks, Chillard. He's going to throw 6 interceptions. Great Jets defense today. Back again. Seamus, I'm not answering your questions until you call in. With Carter in the mix, need 2 receivers, 1 running back, 1 flex. Lazard, Watson, Ayuk, Palmer, Aaron Jones, and M. Carter. So you're going Jones over Carter at running back. 2 receivers, you're going to go Watson and you're going Palmer, Ayuk. And then flex, Carter versus Watson's tough. What do you think, CJ? Mike Carter or Christian Watson?
Mike Carter.
I'm going Christian Watson. So we're split there. But Ayuk, Palmer, Aaron Jones, lock those 3 in. Then it comes down to the flex. I'm going Watson. CJ's going Carter. Especially if you need the ceiling, I feel like you got to go Watson. But the floor is pretty good with Carter, too. It's a good play. Kamara or Rachaad White for Trevor. I'm going White. Fire emojis from my guy, Rushing Yard. And that brings us to the end of the mailbag. Wolfpack, thank you again so much for being here. So greatly appreciate your time. On the way out, that thumbs up button would be great. I believe me and Truth will be live at 7:15 or 7:30ish if I'm alive. We'll see. I'm dead right now. So we will see how we're doing. I would love to recap all the action today, though. So me and the Truth will be in talks. I think that's about it. Best of luck.
There's actually, if people go on Twitter right now, the Commanders just unveiled a Sean Taylor statue. And it's literally like one of those things at the mall, like that they put the clothes on. It's so pathetic.
Man, he deserves so much better than that. Man, it's too bad. Yeah, if you have any picks you want to go over, by all means, go for it. I got to go check in on a couple lineups, but if you're ready to sign off, I totally get it too, because you might have to check your own stuff out.
I'm good. I can run through them pretty quickly.
Okay, cool. I'll give, before I sign off, I'll give my prize picks of the day. Wolfpack, and again, using that code RSJ gets you $100 deposit, sends up a nice little kickback to your boys as well. So please do consider Underdog and Prize Picks for a $100 match today. For which one do I have? Prize Picks. Let me open those. I haven't set my Underdog yet, but I'll need to do that too. Prize Picks. Let me know what you think of these, CJ. I love that 2.5 Michael Carter one. I wish I had done that earlier. I have DPJ over 9 fantasy points. He's done that in 7 straight weeks. I like him to keep going there. I have Brissett over 14.5. He's done that in 3 straight weeks. So I stacked those 2 up. Then you got Antonio Gibson, 13 or more. He's done that in 4 or 5 weeks. Love the spot today against Atlanta. He's kind of taken over that backfield. I like the Jets for 7 or more fantasy points, especially now.
Oh, I love that.
I have them. I wonder if they've gone up since now, but they're going to put up like 20 points. So love the Jets, 7 or more. And then Amari Cooper was 12.5 fantasy points. take that. He's he's boom or bust. So he's either gonna have like 1 point or 30 points, but more often than not, he's been booming. So those are my 5. What about you, CJ? What are some prize picks you have?
Yeah, so I'm going Tom over 265 passing yards. I did see the rain thing, but he's fine in the conditions. Mike Carter over 2.5 receptions. Averaged 8 targets a game last year with Mike White. Simeon, which doesn't count anymore, but 200 total yards. Hopefully it's around the same for Peterman. McKinnon over 20 receiving yards. Kelsey over 7 receptions. This one I didn't know about it, but Kenyon Drake over 27 rushing yards. I know that last time Gus kind of did steal the show a little bit, but 27 rushing yards.
Yeah.
DPJ higher than 41 receiving yards. Mike Evans 4.5 receptions. Joe Burrow 280 passing yards. Trevor Lawrence 230 passing yards. Gibson 2.5 receptions. Treylon Burks 3.5 receptions.
I like that.
Mark Andrews 67 receiving yards. Foreman, Connor, and Wilson over their rushing total, which is all 66, 55, 82.
Hey, not bad. We got a bunch there for you guys.
Honestly.
There we go. Thank you again so much, Wolfpack. We'll answer these last 2 questions that came in and then sign off here. I'm going Jets over the Chiefs. Peterman, just a smash play. But my number 1 and 2 defenses need wide receiver and flex. Patterson, Foreman, Samuel, Everett, Higbee, DPJ, or Burks. I'm going to go DPJ for the wide receiver, and I'm going to go Foreman for the flex. What about you, CJ?
Yep, I'm right with you there. The only DPJ Berg's kind of a toss-up, but I'll go DPJ.
Everett intrigues me too, and it's such a good spot for tight ends, but we will see. Go give me DPJ, give me Foreman. Fellas, Hollywood Brown or Gibson? I'm definitely going Gibson there. Gives you a good chance to see what Hollywood Brown does, and Gibson just in a great spot against Atlanta. So great stuff. All righty, Wolfpack. Well, again, thank you so much. So many generous super chats today. Greatly appreciate everything. RotoStreetJournal.com. We breed and feed you fantasy wolves. Going Devonta Smith over to Dakota Earl Patterson. Thumbs up on the way out, Wolfpack. Please do consider subbing as well. A lot of new names out there. Would love to have you back 4 times a week answering your questions. Best of luck today in a world full of fancy sheep. And again, Devonta Smith over Patterson for you, Anthony. Make sure to sub. Best of luck, guys, out there. Have a good rest of your day. We'll be back later tonight recapping all the action. Cheers, Wolfpack.